Hello everybody, I'm TS Hub. We are back for another Friday night, and we are here at what looks to be a sunny Malaysia for round 15 of the Podium tier. We have 18 drivers tonight, a couple absent, but 18 of them ready and raring to go. Alongside me is Jono, of course double world champion. Jono, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you, Nick. I'm looking forward to the race.
Yes, it should be another classic. Malaysia, from when we race, John, it's always provided an absolute classic of a race. Lots of opportunities to overtake and do something different with following another car and different lines and such.
Yeah, definitely. It encourages drivers to find different lines, especially the high-speed corners. You can take late apexes. So there's quite a few ways you can figure out a way past the car in front, even if you can't do it perhaps on the obvious points into the final corner and, of course, into turn one.
Yeah, so we'll see exactly what these drivers are able to do, but for now, this is short qualifying. We've got 10.5 minutes left. A long track, well, a longish track, I say that, not one of the longest, but longest track. So drivers will want to get straight out, as we've seen many of them already are, get themselves on a outlap and ready, you know, to set a flyer. But it looked like somewhere in the distance over there's a bit of overcast cloud. Whether that will entail into anything, I'm not too sure. But do you have fond memories of this place, Jono, from your time racing here with F1 TS Hub?
I definitely have fond memories of some good battles here and some open races between a lot of drivers. It was never a favourite of mine. It didn't really suit my driving style that much, but as a race, it's always delivered, I think, for F1 TS Hub, and there's no reason why tonight shouldn't be exactly the same.
Yeah, it usually always features in the shortened seasons as well, which are obviously made up of tracks that, you know, have the most overtaking and most action, and so we're expecting some overtakes, some defending tonight, as we're seeing everybody's either on an out lap or on a flying lap. 18 drivers, as we mentioned. Techno Thriller sitting in 18th place at the moment. He took the championship lead off Lemaine, who is absent tonight, so we can see that championship lead further be extended. But the man to watch is Kian. Can his internet hold up tonight? Will he be able to get connected into the race? You have to say, if he can, definitely going to be one to watch, as Matt, your daddy, sneaks past him on the inside to the last corner there.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, actually, so many cars in a line here as they go to start their final laps. It's not ideal at all to have cars in your mirrors and cars in front of you as you go to start your lap. It might have been a good idea for some of them just to delay their lap a little bit before they left the pitch, just to get a bit of clean air. And yeah, Matty Daly definitely took advantage there with that last minute dive into the final corner. I think that definitely would have caught Kian out, and there's definitely a distraction as they went down to turn one.
Greenfin spun it. That's on the exit of turn 6, I believe. Jono just went a little bit wide on the AstroTurf / grass, and he spun it round. He almost caught it, but just wasn't able to in the Haas. He goes off the track and politely waits for all the oncoming drivers to drive past before he rejoins. So good sporting there from Greenfin, and he's now back on track, but his tyres will be covered in dust and dirt. He'll need to get those up to temperature. As you mentioned, John, the last corner here, the best way to start a lap is to actually take a wide line, as Cobblers goes wide now at turn 12, I believe. The tricky turn 12. Not sure if there's any lag involved. He's moving about quite a bit from left to the right of the track, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. But yeah, that is the line to take to, you know, start a flying lap, and we saw Kian there being caught out.
Yeah, it absolutely was. It is the ideal line. You want to go in as slow as you can and as wide as you can, and straighten the car up, and then get fully on the gas as early as you can for the ideal start to the lap. But yeah, he got a bit caught out by Matty Daly there, but Kian is about to cross the line now, so we'll see what he does. And he moves into second place on a 33.720, and that puts him 0.3 off the Boogster at the moment.
Yeah, so pumps it into what is the provisional front row. We're seeing a lot of times, other than those two, quite a way off the pace. So Kev's just bumped in under a second from pole position. The rest of the drivers are, you know, 1.7 away. So we'll keep an eye, and hopefully there'll be some big improvements to make the field a little bit closer together. I'm sure there were just some scruffy laps there, as now Kian goes off the track at turn 4. A lot of drivers seem to be struggling. The track seems to be really dusty on my screen.
Yeah, it looks quite a green track as well, and also slightly awkward lighting conditions. I think there's a low sun, and it does make for awkward light conditions, which if you're basing your braking points off shadows and markers on the track, which some drivers probably are, it can be a little bit distracting. as Technothriller about to finish his lap by the look of it. So it'll be interesting to see where he can put it after taking the championship lead last time out.
I'll ride on board with him, and we'll see what we can do. He's 7 times up already in that sector, but he'll need a big improvement now. We're looking for a 33. He crosses line, it's only a 35.2, so 1.8 slower than the Boogster.
Yeah,
so the top two, you have to say, absolutely dominating the session so far, as we've got just over 6 minutes to go, and we've got quite a few who are well off the pace. They need to get back into the pits, get a new set of boots, and get ready to go again.
Yeah, you have to imagine Kian has got more time to come as well. His lap was compromised.
Matty Daddy goes quickest.
Yeah.
Matty Daddy in the Ferrari off of a 4th place result last week, just riding on board with Kev as well. He keeps it close to the wall, middle of the track, and what's it going to be? It's in a slight improvement, but he's going to need to scurry back to the pits so he can get a fresh set of boots. He's only going to have 1 flyer when he does get back and rejoins. But Matty Daddy was saying earlier he's done a lot of practice for this race. So the Ferrari man building off a 4th position in Singapore, and he obviously wants to, you know, build with another good result here tonight.
Yeah, I always find it that practice was key here. You can definitely gain quite a bit of speed here by putting in the hours in the practice beforehand. There are some sort of lines that you can find, especially through the sweeping corners in the middle of the lap, that they do gain you tenths, and they all add up. So yeah, if he's put in the practice, then fair play to him, and hopefully, well, it's already paying off as he's in provisional pole at the moment.
Yeah, Gazza and Razor are the only two yet to set a time. Greenfin, of course, with that spin is done a really slow lap, so he's almost starting from scratch, as we're seeing Stifler stop on track to let Kev and another. Yeah, lots of improvements I expect on their final runs here, John, especially from, I'd say, about 6th position down. I'd expect all those guys to pop in some quicker lap times than what they've already got on the board. But Matt, your daddy, on provisional pole at the moment. Last time we've seen him near the top 2 in qualifying was Baku.
Yeah, you have to say, as you mentioned, from sort of 6th, 7th downwards, quite a big gap at the moment separating the field. So I think there's quite a few drivers, as I often find in qualifying here, finding the limits and how hard you can push through those corners. It's so easy to push too hard and understeer off circuit. So I expect a few have just got a banker lap in, and they will be going all out this lap, as Gazza's at the pits now as well by the look of it. Good to see his Red Bull actually leaving the pit lane this week. So hopefully it'll be a clear run in for the rest of the field for the remaining part of the session.
Razor's out of this race. He's binned it on the last corner, which I can only think, Jono, 2 wheels on the outside, touch the grass, spins you into the inside, and you hit your front left, which is the tyre that is off. So looks like that's exactly what Razor's done. That's not going to start his weekend well. We know he wanted to beat his teammate Jonas, who, after putting in, I think it was 2nd in Spa, they're almost level on points. So it's going to be a battle to the end between the 2 McLaren Hondas. What's Gazza going to do? He's starting his out lap, so this won't be a time set. We've got the top 5, except for Boogsters, just come out to an out lap, and looks like they're all going to be going for one final run here, Jono. As I mentioned, they're probably only going to have time for one final run. Ali, just to mention, who struggles with his pit entry and exit, of course, is currently in 6th position. So you have to say, from being pretty much, you know, near the back the last few races, he is now currently in 6th position. He's come into the pits now. I don't believe he'll get in and out again to set another lap time, so it could be his session done. Cobbler's now is just starting a quick lap.
Yeah, it's all going to be action these last few minutes. Quite a few drivers still in the pits with only 2 minutes 20 to go. So yeah, they are just going to have one last dash at it. So pressure will be on, especially for the drivers who didn't nail their first laps. I'm on board with Gaz at the moment. Actually, it looks to have been a sort of steadyish lap, but he's made a few errors, had a few moments of oversteer and understeer, so not quite got the right balance in the car, I don't think.
Cobblers has lost it. That's on the exit of turn 6. Same place Greenfin. He does come across the track in front of a Renault. Luckily for him, he ghosted. Yeah, he's struggling to get the car back, but turn it off max fuel, Cobblers. You'll find it a lot easier. You have to say that's his session done. He won't have enough fuel for another lap. So Cobblers currently in 8th position, 1.8 off provisional pole. is out of this session in terms of being able to set another time. Techno Thriller, he's just about to start his flying lap. He has enough for 2, but he's just crossed the line just before, so he'll only get time for one flyer. It's perhaps a bit of a strategic error there in terms of how much fuel he put in. Obviously he wouldn't have needed to put that in, and he only knew he was going to get one flyer at it. But Gaza pumps into 10th position. Jono, you remember you were riding on board with him that lap.
Yeah, it's a bit intense at the moment, but I think there will be improvement probably from the cars behind him. Did he get round for another lap? He will have done, won't he? I guess he'll go for a second lap here.
Yeah.
He's fueled for it anyway.
He's got enough. He's got enough fuel. He's up in the middle sector, so I think he's pushing.
All Techno Thriller's made a mistake, I think, there through the high-speed corners again, and he's run wide. Massive understeer there and well off circuit. So Techno Thriller, this lap is gone. As you mentioned, he won't get round to start another lap, and he's retired.
He's called it a day.
Yeah, it was all on that one lap, and it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, yellow flags in sector 3 because of that. What can Matt, your daddy, do? He's looking on fire tonight. That Ferrari really looks hooked up round this track. And he has, as he said, he has been practicing. So the Ferrari driver on provisional pole, 10 seconds left in this session. We've got Boogster coming into turn 12 now. Always one of your favourites, Jono, especially to try and sneak a little overtake on the entry to the corner, but that's for another day. Here comes the Boogster into the final corner. We've got Ali, Ols and Dweller who won't be able to improve their time. What can the Boogster do? Can he take pole position? He exits the last corner. He's surely gonna. He goes to the middle of the track, which is slightly slower. It's 33. No, it's Matt your daddy's on provisional pole. Yeah. What can Kian do? He's currently in 3rd position. Matt your daddy's going to be next boy to cross the line. The Ferrari driver on provisional pole. Can he improve his time even further? Can he cement his place for a pole position? Keeps it to the right hand side, and he does. He improves to a 32.9. What a lap! Can Kian do anything from to try and stop the Ferrari man, who looks on fire today?
Yes, he does. As Kian comes up the line, did get a bit of understeering, missed the apex slightly into the penultimate corner.
Takes second.
Yeah, he stays second. He does improve, I believe. I think he's near to what Matty Daddy had first time round.
Boogster's crashed. So no, he completed his lap and then he's crashed. Kev, meanwhile, is on a quick lap. He's going to get a bit of DRS help here from Jonas. 32, 33 as he crosses the line. He stays 5th. So that's pretty much everyone down. Stifler, he's the only driver left to come across the line. Here he comes now. We'll ride on board with him. 33, 34 it's going to be. He stays 6th position. So there we have it. Green Finn showing as the only driver left. He's timed that beautifully. He must have just crossed the line, Jono, with when the time remaining, but he's backed off, given up on this lap after he was actually up, according to my screen, in sector 2. So there we have it. Pole position for Matt your daddy. And I'm just going to go and check some of our stats. Where he qualified in Baku, because that was a really strong race from him, and then he was leading most of it, and then he made a mistake a lot. Basically he basically should have won that race. And let's have a quick look. He qualified 2nd, so this is Matt your daddy's first pole position at F1 TS Hub. Massive congratulations to him. The Ferrari man is how else can you put it other than on fire today.
Yeah, he's lined up in the ideal position to make it work out. So he's got Kian, who we know is fast, alongside him, but Matty Daddy's done everything right there in the qualifying session, and he'll just be looking and hoping that he remains in that position as they exit the first 2 corners.
Yeah, you say first 2 corners here, Jono, because it's not a case of getting into turn 1 first and exiting it. Turn 2 leads swiftly on, and they almost combine as one here in terms of lines that you can take through them. So I can't wait to see how we enter and exit turn 1 and 2. But yeah, Kian, he's boosted his title hopes. He's 2nd position. He can do a lot from there today. He didn't need to be on pole. He just needed to be ahead of his rivals, which is exactly what he's done today.
Yeah, he'll be pleased with front row. You're in control of your own destiny from there, pretty much. And with Techno down in 11th place, there's a possibility of gaining a good chunk of points back today if he can hook it up in the race.
Yeah, definitely. So, confirmation of the results tonight. Matt, your daddy, takes pole position, his first one at F1 TSL. Big congratulations to him. Keane is in second. The Bookster's in third. Lukey's in fourth. Kev is in fifth. Stifler's in sixth. Gezza's in seventh. Eighth is Ali, but his best result tonight. 9th is Spider Atlas, 10th is Cobblers, 11th is Techno Thriller, 12th Ols, 13th Jamie, 14th Dweller, 15th Maverick, 16th Jonas, 17th Greenfin, 18th Razor. No time set. So we'll wait for the loading screen to go and disappear. But let's have a quick look. We're just hearing that possibly there's been some perhaps some sort of error with the session, Jono, where it hasn't loaded as... Are you reading that on screen? It hasn't loaded as the normal settings.
Yes, so I see. It's possibly realistic settings or something I'm seeing.
Let's have a quick look. As I'm seeing a car bouncing and somersaulting round in the pit lane. See if we can find out on these settings. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to be able to see from my screen. On the race settings, it doesn't show it, but we'll try and bring you confirmation of that, because it shouldn't be that. We obviously run equal performance, but we'll find out exactly what is. But we've got the formation lap first, and Jono, what should these drivers be doing on this next about a minute and 50 seconds?
Well, you just got to clear your mind. Cruise round. I know some people end up getting into contact and getting teleported to the grid. I always like the qualifying, the formation lap. It was always a bit of a chance just to cruise round and warm up the tyres, and and just think about the race ahead. Plan what you're going to do into turn one. I know obviously you've got to react to what comes at the moment, but I always like to have in my mind which side to go here. You can either hang it around the outside into turn one and then try and get the inside for turn two, or vice versa. I always prefer the inside of turn one here, which puts you on the outside for turn two, because otherwise you can end up with cars understeering into you into turn one. It's just a more dangerous position to be, but it does hold the potential of running around the outside and gaining positions if you're feeling brave. Yeah, I've always liked to have in my mind what I'm going to do, and then just bring it round to the grid and try and execute your race plan and your strategy that you've worked on in a week as well as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope these drivers have worked on that, but we're just gonna have a quick look here, because a lot of the drivers complaining that it's set to realistic performance, but Gaza is saying 100% that it's set on equal, so not too sure exactly what's going on there, but
I believe
he's 100% sure.
Every week, doesn't he? So he'd have loaded his settings that he uses every week, you presume?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's no reason they shouldn't be set to usual unless they somehow got changed by accident, but yeah, I'm not sure.
We'll just speak to the tier coordinator and just make sure this is exactly as it should be as drivers are lining up on the session. Cobblers has already left. We knew we had connection issues last week. Are they continuing on into tonight's race? But alright, well, apologies for this, but looks like we're set to start anyway. We're hearing from our tier coordinator that it's definitely set on equal performance, but that's definitely what he's saying. So Jono, there's not really much more we could do, is there?
No, I don't believe there is. I think we've got to go racing now and trust that the settings are all correct. And yeah, we've got 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're away.
Yeah, Matt, your daddy not moving off the line there. I'm not too sure. He was messaging me saying that it's not set on equal, it's set on realistic. So I'm not too sure exactly what's going on, but it's put a bit of a spinner onto the start of this race. But Kian leads away. The Bookster's in second, Kemp's in third. Clean. Yeah, there seems to be no issues so far. So we'll see exactly what these drivers are going to do and the exit of turn 4, because that's a heavy braking zone. First real chance after turn 2 to attempt an overtake. Not too many positions actually changing here. but we can see that Dweller, Razor and Maverick are on the softs. Everyone else has chosen the supers. Cobblers and Matt Your Daddy on the last 2 places, so they really haven't optimized this start at all. Cobblers did get back in the session. I believe he is in his car. He's ghosting at the moment. Matt Your Daddy's fighting his way back through the field, currently in 16th place. Perhaps he was on the loading screen on messages or something like that, Jono.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I did notice he dropped behind on the formation lap and his car was ghosting, so I'm not sure quite what was going on with him there on that lap. As you mentioned, he was talking, chatting, messaging you as well at some point. So that's definitely, I mean, that's cost him big time. No matter what's going on behind the scenes, I'd always be ready in my car for the red lights, as he's earned that pole position and he's now retired from the session by the look of it.
Yeah, so what's happened to him? He's just binned it, which looks...
Binned it.
So where is that? Is that coming... It's not coming into pits. Is that turn 9 and 10 just before turn 12, possibly?
It could well be. It's difficult to tell from that camera angle at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that is. Just before turn 12, that is, as Kian sets the fastest lap of the race. Chased down by the Bugster. Let's keep an eye on perhaps some of these gaps. Kev's in third. Got yellow flags because of that in sector 3. Dweller and Razor up to 10th and 11th. They've gained a few positions. Techno Thriller also up to 8. Everyone in DRS zone right now. So expect some overtakes, expect some lunges down into some of these braking zone. DRS not open yet, of course, but turn 4 just running a wall with Stifler. We've seen some carbon fibre. That looked like, was that a Sauber? Yeah, I think that was a Sauber of Techno Thrillers. Yeah,
he's looking to make up ground. He's up to 8, so he hasn't moved up as much as I thought he might in the opening lap, but his car is... he's in one piece. He's got a bit of damage, or is he in one piece? I think he looks okay, but yeah, he'll be looking to make up ground now, as he's right at the back of Jamie here.
Oh, another retiree. Who's this going to be? Maverick. So Maverick's binned it. Turn 5 and 6 on the exit. The next driver to claim victim to the barriers here at Singapore. He's out of this race. That's our second retiree. Pole position man and Maverick both have retired from the race. Let's see whether that brings out a safety car. Yellow flags in sector 2 and 3, Jono.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be surprised if it's a safety car, going on previous experience on this game, but yellow flags at the very least. As yeah, a lot of the field's still really bunched up at this stage. So yeah, in all to play for. As you mentioned, Razor and Bossy Dweller have gone for the soft tyre, so I'll be hoping to hang on to this pack as best they can and have the race come to them a bit later on.
Yeah, definitely Kian under threat here from the Bugster. They're nose to tail, and of course DRS is active, so just needs to follow within that DRS scene, get a good exit onto one of the straights, Jono, and it's got definitely a good chance of overtaking. He's thinking about it here into turn 4.
Yeah, he's lining it up. He's in the ideal position. We're yet to see how powerful DRS is here and whether making a move into turn 1 is a possibility or not. But yeah, he's following really closely at the moment. So pressure in, that's all he can do. Put as much pressure on as he can, and hope that he sees an error from Kian. But we know Kian's pretty good at resisting pressure when it comes. So it'll be interesting to see whether we can find a way through here.
Yeah, definitely. So the Bugster's in second, Kev's in third position, Spider Atlas up to fourth now.
Back, actually.
Yeah, he has 2 seconds. So
virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car. So virtual safety car out. Kian obviously gained a little bit of time through that. Back down to 1.6. So perhaps Kian was, trying to take advantage. He's now under a second, and he's had to slam on the brakes a little bit. Yeah, let's see exactly. Dweller and Razor on the soft tyre up to 9th and 10th. DRS disabled, and oh, look at the run that the Bugster's got now on Kian. This is going to be an absolute opportunity down into turn the final corner of the race. Here we go, on the inside Kian goes. Is Bugster going to do a switchback? You have to say he exits the corner almost side by side. Here we go, Jono, talk us through this one.
Yeah, he's got a good run. He's almost completely a car ahead, and he is a car length ahead as they approach the braking zone for turn 1. He's on the outside, but he should have this covered as he will now have the inside as they go across to turn 2. Kian will go wide, try and get a cutback, which he does. He runs over the curb, which will hurt his traction a little bit, and it has done. Although he went for the cutback there, the traction was not there for them, and it looks like the Bugster has got the position and should hold it now as they break into turn 4.
And Jono, I am actually just confirming Matt Your Daddy's left the session and rejoined. He has confirmed that it is actually on realistic performance. So I feel like feel like we need to back out of this one, as shameful as
Yeah,
that's going to be.
agree.
It's not fair on everyone else. So we'll try and get the message out to everyone, guys. We'll stay on the stream perhaps, and we'll have a chat and keep you guys entertained. Perhaps talk about some interesting moments that we've had through Singapore. I know I've had a few that haven't been so interesting for me, but definitely some battles I know you've had here, fighting through the field on some occasions. So I'm going to exit. Hopefully my exit should prompt everyone to see exactly what's happening. But yeah, realistic performance, we can't race on that. There seems to be some issues. Gazza the tier coordinator loads the same settings every week, so I'm not too sure what has happened there. But I'll see if I can rejoin the session, Jono, and get back in. But Malaysia, what's your best result around Malaysia? Have you won at this track?
But I think it'll be disappointing for everyone involved to lose this circuit. I think out of one of the more modern style circuits, it's probably a favourite of a lot of the drivers compared with a lot of others, Russia and what have you, that have come since. It has a good mix of high speed, low speed corners, obviously weather conditions. So yeah, it'll be sadly missed by me, even though I didn't do great here myself. It'll be missed by me and I think most of the drivers.
Yeah, I've always liked it, John. I always liked the wide tarmac. I think it's one of the widest tracks, and I just think it just helps. You know, when you're overtaking, you can give the driver a little bit more room and perhaps have a little bit more confidence going side by side. But I've definitely been involved in some incidents here. It's been a strange one because in season 7, I had terrible pace. I remember it was the championship decider. I had absolutely shocking pace, and I just didn't know why. So it basically put me out of the title race before it even began. But then on season 8 and season 9, which was ran on F1 2016, my pace here, not just over one lap, which was good, it was consistently good on the harder tyre. I was able to put them on and match my times on my first or second lap than I was 15 laps later on, if you remember during our practices.
Yes, I do remember. Yeah, we were a bit mystified, weren't we, as to why you went from being super quick in practice when you had more pace than me to then going into the race and suddenly you just had nothing. The car just didn't feel great. You were complaining to me it didn't feel how it did to you in the previous sessions, and I know you were really frustrated because this was always a favourite of yours. You definitely had at least the one lap pace advantage over me here. It definitely wasn't a favourite of mine, but front tyre wear is definitely crucial here, managing the front left tyre in particular. So I think that was the key to me getting good results here, was that I was able to manage the front tyres better than others, and that did set me up to either stop one time less than others or at least be able to carry my tyres further than other drivers. You have to hook it up well through the high-speed corners. I was always complaining to you. I know a bit of it. You always joked at me that I always moaned of understeer here. No matter what I did with the car, no matter how much weight I put on it, it never felt right to me. But it was always the opposite for you, and you just relished driving here.
Yeah, definitely. I love braking, especially into corners like turn 1. You know, where you have to kind of brake as late as you can, and you need to get the car turned in at the same time. I relish on corners that you could do that and kind of get the car turned in whilst braking, in a sense. Perhaps that's why my tyre wear was always so bad, but it definitely I definitely liked, you know, the first sector. You run down to turn 4, another great braking zone. Try and brake as late as possible, get the best exit up a slight hill as possible. 5 and 6, you know, push it to the absolute limit on how much of the curbs you can take without getting a warning, and then you come through the middle part of the lap. My only corner I didn't like was just after just before the second sector ends, that uphill corner, the hairpin, it was so poor on traction.
Turn 9 and 10, I think it is there, out of that hairpin, yes.
It was always a difficult one.
That was always treacherous.
Yeah, I just, especially in the wet as well, it was just absolutely a nightmare to try and get the car, especially when your tyres started to wear as well. As we're just waiting for some invites from the tier coordinator for a new lobby. But yeah, it's
almost undrivable in the wet out of there.
Yeah, it was especially for medium traction runners. It was always difficult. And then obviously turn 12. I remember in practice we were saying about that turn. I think it's turn 12, and you just slung it down the inside. And I just didn't see it coming at all. And you said you were going to try it in the race in season 8, and then I think you did it on someone, and they the same thing. They were just caught napping.
Yeah, I believe it's turn 13 or 14. I believe it is onto the back straight. The natural line is obviously to bring it out to it's such a wide entry there. The natural line is to bring it out to the curb on the left, and then cut back and hit the apex, and then try and get the best exit onto the straight as you can. But you can definitely just lift off the brakes and just chuck it down the inside, and just do a block pass. And the driver on the outside is just left there with your car in the way, and he can't get on the power. And it's definitely a good cheeky move there, and yeah, I'm hoping we at least see one driver pull it off in one of the streams today, because it's definitely a satisfying manoeuvre, and yeah, well worth having a go at. But obviously you do run a bit of risk, as you're heavy braking and turning at the same time. It's hard enough to take without going to wheel, but it does prove to be a fun overtake if you can pull it off.
Yeah, definitely. I think I qualified 4th here for season 9 last season, and I got a great start, but Cliffy in front of me had a delayed start. I don't know if anyone remembers that we had that on F1 2016, and I just couldn't turn the car. He's directly in front of me. I couldn't turn the car around him in time, and there goes my wing, sailing down the pit straight faster than I could. But and of course it's such a long pit stop here, so that was race over for me. And season 8, if I remember, I think I got taken out by Bozo or something. That I remember reading in your...
Yeah, that's in the stewards report this week. You get an absolutely wiped out from Bozo, who got a
jump start, it was.
Whatever you want to call it. A jump start, yeah. He went flying through the field from right near the back, went straight past me. I was behind you on the grid. I think you were 4th and I was 6th. I just avoided him, and then yeah, he pushed you onto the grass and led you ploughing into the wall, and I know I had high hopes of maybe even winning that race, and there was a few choice words heard over the headset as that happened within about 20 seconds of lights out. So yeah, definitely for you, good memories in terms of your pace here, but not so good memories in terms of actually getting results. Not always due to your own fault either. Yeah,
definitely. It was, it's always a track that if you have an incident at the first corner, it's not like Singapore where you can get back. There's so many opportunities to get back into the race. Here it's it's such a long pit lane, and the tyre choices, of course, on the last game were the soft, mediums, and hard. The latter two being the preferable tyres. And of course, when you're running that tyre, there's only so much you can do. But just as everyone can see, we've got a new lobby up and coming now. Jono's in it, I'm in it. We've got 17, so waiting on 3 drivers before we can get this underway again. We're going to do the exact same thing as we did last time, and it should take us to about 15 minutes before we start the Pinnacle tier at 9 o'clock tonight. So gonna be a long shift for me, this one, but it wasn't
to rest your voice.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't fair to race on realistic, and
oh no,
Gazza's not sure why it changed. He loads the same setting every week, but there you are. These things happen, and everyone gets a crack at it again. And Cobblers and I think it was Maverick will be happy to get another chance to get in the session and look for a good result here. But off track, Jono, talk us through. As the lead steward, talk us through the steward report. How do you go about getting that up and ready every week?
A lot of it's just from previous experience. You gain a lot. I've done league racing for many years, even before F1 TS Hub, before I joined F1 TS Hub. So I've driven this track many times, and over that time I've seen most incidents that can possibly happen, I think, or there's always something new coming up. But you know the obvious dangers of turns 1 and 2, so you go from there really. You know from experience what to do. You know what's happened from the previous week's racing, so you draw driver's attention to that. It's usually something that has cropped up the week before. There's always things we can improve on, so we're always looking to mention any of those. And yeah, each track's got its own little technical bits that we point out to drivers just to try and point them in the direction, just to try and limit any silly incidents that we know we can knock out beforehand. And yeah, we mentioned a few setup tips and tricks. Obviously, what wing levels we think people might be running, and how high we think tyre wear will be in the race ahead. So it's just pointing things out to the drivers, just to have a quick skim through, and if it even avoids one incident in the season, or then it's worth us putting the effort in to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it's incidents, we don't like to see them, and I think it's been a pretty good season in terms of incidents. We haven't had any deliberate acts of driving that are going to cause DNFs or anything like that. No one's lost their cool in a sense so much this season, which is you don't ever want to see that. And drivers have, especially in this tier, I think this tier has been the most well behaved on and off track, it has to be said.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Everyone's driven within the spirit of the league, really, and they take it seriously when they hit the track. But out of the race, they all seem to chat, get on well, practice in the week, and that's what it's all about, really. Because at the end of the day, it's the rivals that make the league, and we're all friends as well as rivals on track, and so you always want it to be played out in the right spirit. And I think this season, especially with the podium tier, they've done exactly that, and it's been a pleasure to see.
Yeah, we saw in, I don't know if you had a chance to read it before the race day, we did an exclusive with Igbo this week on the website, as we about to start the lobby again, so here we are, we're getting back in. So it's going to be short qualifying and the race, same as we had before. Dynamic weather will stay exactly as it was before, and I wonder if we'll get any weather changes, or will it be the same. But Igbo was saying, the Podium boys, he's been so impressed with them, and they're a great example to show the league in its best light, and exactly what we have to offer here at F1 tier sub. These guys in the Podium tier have just been fantastic.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for any more. They've delivered good racing on track, and they've behaved themselves off track, so what more can you ask for at the end of the day?
Yeah, exactly. So again, our apologies for this. You get to listen to myself and John a little bit longer than expected tonight, but I'm sure you won't be too disappointed with hopefully what is going to be a cracking Malaysia race. I won't do the intro again, but this is Malaysia, this is round 15, and we're about to start our short qualifying session. 12 minutes for these drivers to get in and out. And one thing that I've noticed, Jono, is some of these longer tracks, I always, as we mentioned in previous streams, I've always fueled my car for enough for 2 laps. And I think what's similar weather to how it was, I think what, my best advice to some of these guys is that I see them sometimes run out of fuel, would be to put 2 laps worth of fuel in, do your first flying lap, start your second one. If it's not up enough, if it's up only a 10th and you think you can go quicker, bail into the pits and then do 2 on your final run, because if you complete 2 on your first run, you won't get time to do 2 on your second. So you need to you've got two runs, one's going to be a 2 lapper and one's going to be a 1.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly what we used to do, and it just keeps your options open. It's all about keeping your options open as much as you can and giving yourself the best chance to drag a lap time out of it. You're only going to get 2 or 3 laps. We know how difficult it is to hook it up, even for the absolute best drivers. A mistake is so easy to make, so just open your strategy options up, and as you say, start your second lap. Always put the extra lap of fuel in. It'll cost you very, very little time anyway, and then if you make a mistake, you've got another run at it. If it's down, you can box and go again. So yeah, you just don't limit yourself otherwise, as you would if you just put 1 lap's worth of fuel in.
Just riding on board with Dweller, and since he's exited the pit, he's actually had just lets his teammate through there, Techno Thriller. He's been on max fuel, so he's got 3.5 laps, but he's been on max fuel since he exits the pit. And obviously the game puts you on that regardless of what you want to start on, and perhaps he's just forgotten to change it as he goes wide at turns 7 and 8, that is, I believe. Struggling maybe a little bit with the dirty air of the car in front, or cold tyres. But he'll want to get max fuel off, because he'll be pushing it on lap time of not running out on his in-lap in that Sauber. Everyone's out except Ols, by the way.
Sorry, it always annoyed us, didn't it? Exiting the pits and automatically being on max fuel because, especially if it's wet conditions, you don't pay attention to it. You drive out the pit lane and before you know it, you're facing the wrong way. So it would be handy if the game didn't automatically put you there, but then I guess you could forget and not run max on your hot lap, so it all swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, Kian just passes the Ferrari here. He seems to be pushing a little bit more on this this outlap, but there's a Ferrari just behind. I wonder if there's going to be a bit of deja vu here into the last corner, but I think the Ferrari's actually gone wide and Kian's going to have a clean run this time. I'm expecting the Bookster and Kian to be up there again. Matt, your daddy, he has put some practice in, so was that a fluke or will he be able to, you know, mix it up with the guys at the front? I'm sure he'll be somewhere there or thereabouts, considering his performance was quite quick in that Ferrari. But we've got, who's that behind Kian? Whoever it is, Cobbler's behind Kian, is so close. He's going to almost meet him come the braking zone into turn 1.
Yeah, he got a decent slipstream there on the straight, and you'd put the odds on Kian maybe having the edge on him on pace on this lap. So that might have worked out okay for him, although he does get a bit of understeer there out of turn 2. So not ideal for him, but Kian is now far enough ahead, I think, not to restrict this lap.
We're also seeing the two Ferraris quite close together on track. So what is quite a wide track, John? They seem to want to be quite close together. I'm not sure if they've planned to get some slipstream, but through these fast corners, it's just going to hurt them being in the dirty air so much, especially on these cars with the extra downforce. It affects you even more than it did as Luki gets 2 wheels on the grass, manages to keep it from spinning out. Razart's exiting turn 4. He'll be hoping for a better qualifying session this time around, but I guess we get 32 laps of racing tonight here at Malaysia rather than the 28, which is a bit more fun. Techno Thriller currently coming into the final quarter. He's going to be the first driver to set a lap time. Championship leader at the moment, and here he comes to cross the line. It's going to be a 1:33.4, so I think that's about 2 seconds quicker than he managed in the last session. So it just shows you how much that manages. As Dweller now goes quicker, and he was even further behind in the Selber in the last session, I believe. So
and Jamie there you have it. Quicker as well.
Yeah, Jamie just pumps in behind. Green Finn 3.5 behind. Jonas 1 second behind. So the times are a lot closer, and perhaps that's why as now Kian pumps in the quickest lap time of the day. We haven't seen a 1:31.
He got a nice slipstream there from Stifler, I believe it was, down the penultimate straight and then onto the pit straight as well. So he timed that pretty well. He didn't get too blocked in the in twisty bits, and he caught him at the right time there to get a nice bit of slipstream at the end of the lap.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing the times a lot closer. Look at from 4th all the way down to 10th position, separated by 8 tenths of a second. So not that many tenths, but a lot of drivers fitting in between. Kian currently on provisional pole, and you have to say he's looking strong here today, Jono.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looking good. Obviously it's a long way to go yet, even in this session, but he's definitely looking strong here, and we expect nothing less, to be honest, and he'll be looking to get good points, as that's a bit weird how Kian cuts the chicane to hairpin to try and get ahead of Stifler on his slowdown lap, but
yeah, Jonas is on a flying lap. He's 3 tenths up in the middle sector, so the McLaren was near the back end of the grid in the realistic session that we just had. Bookster pops into 2nd place, so 3 tenths off Kian at the moment. And what can Jonas do as he heads down into the final corner? Dweller comes into the pits, first driver to do so. And will we see any drivers improve on their second run if they're doing a second run? This is Jonas's second run. What can he do? He's going to move ahead only 1 place. Ols pops ahead
he gets,
to 10th.
Yeah.
So
he moved up
straight
a
back
split
down.
second there and then got leaped. Yeah.
Here come the 2 Ferraris. Matt, your daddy goes into 4th, so he does have pace here, Jono. He does have pace in that Ferrari, 4th position at the moment. Lucky only manages 13th place, and we'll keep an eye on who else is going to be setting a quick time. Here comes Kev in the Williams, 1:31, 1:32, crosses the line, 7th place, so 1.1. He's done the exact same time as Dweller, so there you have it.
As you mentioned, much closer field now that the cars are set to equal. The McLarens have suddenly got a huge boost of speed from that Honda engine, switching to equal rules. So yeah, we're looking for a good fight here for pole position. Although Kian has got the advantage there by a couple of tenths at the moment, by 4 tenths I think it is.
Yeah, definitely. Just running on board with Ali as well. He's obviously that's why he was running so high up in you know, the previous session, but it's looking quite good this lap so far. I was watching through turn 5 and 6. He seemed to hit all the right apexes, so let's just hope he was carrying enough speed through there. It gets a bit of an oversteer moment on that corner that we were both saying we didn't like too much. And coming through now into the final part of the lap, runs slightly wide, but he's on super softs. What is this time going to be? We'll keep an eye as he heads into turn 12, another corner we were talking about in our commentary. Makes me think back, Jono, to that Canadian Grand Prix in 2011 where they had to, you know, be on air for so long, and how did they not run out of things to talk about?
Absolutely, I don't know how they managed it. Yeah, that was absolute epic, wasn't it? I think that was the longest race of all time, was it? F1 race of all time? But
I
yeah,
believe so.
Spent absolutely hours on air. We obviously haven't quite reached those levels, but it has given us a bit of a chance to recap over our previous experiences here. So all was not lost in having to restart, and we did get a bit of a taster of things to come. It was remarkably clean on the opening lap in that first attempted start of the race, especially through turns 1 and 2. So let's hope they've all had a practice at it now, that we get another clean getaway this time round.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that helps as well, John. As I mentioned earlier, being a wider track, you know, you can give drivers a little bit more space. The outside is further away from the inside, which means you can fit more cars in between and more room in between. Lukey's on low fuel mode. Poor guy's just crawling round. 2 minutes 20 this lap already. Hasn't put enough fuel in, so will he get back and be able to get out again? It's going to be close. Imagine he'll get back in the garage with about 2 minute 40, so he'll need to get his tyre blankets off, new set on and out again, which is going to be tough for him. That could be a session over just because of the miscalculation in fuel. Yeah,
it slows you down so much on this game when you run out of fuel. It is absolutely torture trying to make it back. As I experienced, I think, once in our co-op season we're doing together, I ended up not being able to get out again because it took me forever to get back to the pits. But at the same time, it's a slightly poor error to make from Lukey. He's also an experienced driver, but you know how much fuel you need to complete the laps. Maybe just thought he was on such a good lap he'd complete it anyway. But as you mentioned, it could well actually cost him a chance to go out again.
And yeah, poor Matt, your daddy's just putting in the chat with the guys that was his shortest pole position ever, as he was actually messaging me when the lights went out, which is why he didn't move off the grid. So he didn't even get to, you know, lead for a lap from that pole position. But good sport for backing out, and after that happened, he was the one who checked the rules for us. So I'm glad he did. And yeah, we've got 2 minutes and 20 left. We're just seeing some drivers come back out now as Lucky finally makes it back to the pits. He will not be able to set a time, so that's his session done. He'll be starting in as highest as 13th, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, if only you could do a racing pit stop in the pits, a much requested feature from myself at least. You could actually go out and set another lap time. So yeah, by the time the engineers have pushed him into the pits and put the tyre blankets back on, his session will be over.
Hoping for a good scrap here for pole position. 2 seconds separating the entire 16 from 1 to 16, and then you've just got Maverick and Greenfin, who Greenfin, you have to say, he's definitely got a better lap to come out of his Haas car than the one that he's currently done.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to run on board with Techno Thriller for this lap. He's just started his lap now, just coming up to turn 4. In third position at the moment, but as you mentioned, championship leader after last round, so he'll be definitely looking for at least a front row start. We know how rapid he is at the beginning of races on fresh tyres, so if he can get himself on the front row, he'll definitely fancy his chances on the first 3 laps of the race. It looks to be a tidy lap so far as he goes down to the hairpin. He's got a car in front of him. He's far enough ahead not to get in the way, but it's also a bit of a distraction to see a driver on the horizon. I always prefer to have a completely clear track as that driver does get out of the way, or one does. There's still another car ahead of him. But yeah, it's been a tidy lap, so we'll see if this will be enough to get him on the front row.
Yeah, we've got everyone out except Lukey. It's been a clean lap from the Selber driver, but behind him you've got Kian, the Bookster, Kian and Matt Your Daddy all line astern, so they're not giving each other too much room. They want to follow each other's car as they cross the line. Seeing Razor jump up to 10th position there. Jamie currently in 9th just ahead. So here comes Techno Thriller. We'll ride on board with him. Will he keep it as close as he can to the white line? It's the quickest way. He's going to have enough for another lap though. He's timed that perfectly. He takes pole position by under 0.2 of a second. Will the others react? Kian is just behind the Bookster, so the Bookster's neck. They've had a bit of traffic. Bookster's got a bit of oversteer as well. This is going to be his final attempt.
Here for Kian.
Yeah, definitely, and Bookster pulls out the way. Here comes Kian. This will be his final attempt. Technothrill absolutely timing his lap to perfection in terms of being able to set 2. Kian's going to run it right low on fuel, keeps it to the inside. What's this going to be? No, he half a tenth, Jono. How close is that? Matt, your daddy steals 3rd ahead of the Bookster. He does have pace today in that Ferrari. Stifler's on a quick lap.
He'll be delighted to be in 3rd position at the moment after that first session as well. He's delivered again.
Here comes Stifler. He's up in the middle sector. He's pretty close on fuel in terms of seeing a bit of lag from the Renault driver. So hopefully that's just on our screen and we won't get any of that. Yeah, he's pulling off to the side. Looks like the McLaren's gaining on my screen. The McLaren's in the wall. I'm not sure what happened there. I think there's some lag involved. The McLaren's actually in the wall there. Gazza's retired from the session. What's Stifler going to do currently? Kev goes 4th, so the Bookster gets knocked down even further just as well. That was just go ahead. What can Dweller do in the other cell? But we know he's quick as well. Calderson left the session, still struggling with his connection. Gazza's left the session now as well. He's the host, so hopefully that doesn't affect anything. Techno Thriller goes even quicker, and Dweller and his teammate pops it on the front row. So what a performance from the Sauber drivers.
Absolutely, he smashed it there. He's wow, that is an impressive lap and a big gap to his teammate, as you mentioned. Kian dropped down to 3rd, Matty Daddy 4th, and Kev 5th as things stand, as I think virtually everyone has finished their lap. So yeah, awesome lap there by the Cyber driver.
Yeah, definitely timed it to perfection. So well done to Techno Thriller. That's put his stamp on the championship. Kian will be looking at that gap, thinking, where did he find that time? Unless Kian made a mistake somewhere. But yellow flags in Sector 3. We're waiting for everyone else to finish their session. We've got a minute left on the timer. But wow, 0.6 of a second, and look what's happening. We've got rain.
Wow. I'm not sure what the forecast is for the race, but yeah, a bit of rain. I wouldn't mind a bit of rain, spice things up. Always good from a spectator point of view. As the cars are pushing themselves along on my screen as they return to the pits.
Yeah, they did on mine for a little bit. It's definitely stuff like this needs to be worked on for next year's game. But Jono, I'm hearing that there's going to be rain at the end of the race. So the final third of the race is showing like there might be some wet weather running, which in Malaysia doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, we'll wait and see how that affects today's result. But 18 drivers complete qualifying. We have 2 seconds separating the top 10 now, and that gap at the front as Cobbler rejoins the session, gap at the front is quite staggering compared to how it was looking so close. And Bookster will be disappointed that he wasn't able to improve on his lap.
Yeah, he will. He's still set in a reasonably good position. I think. I mean, nobody can be too disappointed purely from the fact that Technical is so far out front. You'd have to say that 6/10 is, that's more than just one small mistake from the drivers behind. That's just a pretty dominant performance. Yeah, the Bookster in 6th. He'll be looking to move forward, but all the drivers ahead of him have got good pace, so it'll be difficult for him from 6th, and do also in the danger zone there into obviously turn 1 and 2, so he'll be looking to keep it clean and then challenge as the race gets underway.
Well, let's run through the order. The official results are qualifying for second time today. Techno Thriller is on pole position. He was further down the order in the last session. He'll be glad we restarted. Championship leader takes pole position by some margin. Dweller takes second, his teammate. It's all Sauber front row. Kian takes 3rd. Hopefully his connection holds out. Has done so far today. Matt Your Daddy in 4th. Kevin 5th. Bookster in 6th. Stifler in 7th. 8th is Cobblers. 9th is Jamie. 10th is Spider Atlas. 11th is Razor. 12th is Gaza. 13th is Oz. 14th is Lukey. 15th is Jonas. 16th is Ali. Greenfin's in 17th, and Maverick is in 18th position. So there we have it. That is the qualifying session today. Has anyone pressed go yet? Because we're still showing the results on my screen.
Yeah, same here. Still waiting at the moment. Let's hope it's going to move on okay. That was a bit of a lottery, but yeah, that was a pretty exciting session. But Techno absolutely smashed it there at the end.
Yeah, definitely. So Cobbler's just left the session again. His connection, he's really struggling with that.
Yeah.
At the moment, it was when he raced in the Pinnacle tier earlier in the season, it was completely fine. So what exactly is going on here? Session is stuck on the results. So testing times for us tonight here, Jono.
Absolutely is. You never know what to expect from this game. Unfortunately, it's not the most stable, to put it mildly, on the online side of things. And
it's very polite of you, Jono.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I could definitely say less polite things, and definitely compared with some rival games out there, they're a long, long way behind in online stability and what have you at the moment. But we can only hope that with 2018 and the rise of esports, that things improve a lot with the next iteration of the game. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely getting a bit beyond a joke here. We're glitched, so perhaps it was because the host left. Gaza has affected things.
Possibly.
And yeah, this is a little bit frustrating. I have no idea why we are stuck, but some are stuck actually on the loading screen. But I'm actually stuck on the. I don't know about you. I'm stuck on the qualifying results.
Yeah, same here. I got the results screen up, and yeah, I've not got any further than that. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens this time out. But definitely keeping us commentators busy tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, making us earn our money here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So apparently we're waiting for Kev and Dweller to press advance. That's the screen we're getting, but let's see. Yeah, perhaps they'll have to rejoin and come back into the session.
Yeah, that may work. You never know.
So let's find out exactly what's going to happen. I wonder if everyone's still waiting to see the qualifying, whether it's gone past that. But we're obviously as spectators stuck on this. So let's take a look at this, Jono. Who are you expecting to be our biggest mover forward on the grid today?
Difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, I think the top guys have got decent pace. I think others around them are going to have to rely on, either having good race setups or being able to do something on strategy. Because you can't take away from how they qualified on the grid. They did look to have the pace, as it looks like we're moving forward at last.
Yeah, we got to wait. Hopefully, no one starts the session. We got to wait for the two that left that were glitched to get back in. That's Dweller and Gaza. So hopefully, no one press starts. Let's find out. Waiting for players. So hopefully, everyone else can get back in, and then we'll. Hopefully, finally, Jono, get underway for the real race here. And yeah, we're waiting. It says we're waiting for everyone. It says Gaza's in the session, but we know if the host leaves, it calls. Say that again.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
Otherwise, we have got the option of a new lobby with custom grids. I think we can do a custom grid order.
In online championship mode, I believe you can customize a grid.
Yeah.
Mavericks, just click start. So Dweller and Kev, can they join? That is a big question. If they can get back in, then we can start. If they can't get back in, then we'll have to do another new lobby. This is really frustrating, but not much we can do.
No, it's nothing to do with us. It's the game we rely on, unfortunately. You can do all the work behind the scenes, but unfortunately we are relying on the game working on the night, which unfortunately it frequently doesn't seem to at the moment.
Yep, so we're hearing they can't get back in. This is a formation lap that unfortunately will lead into another no-show race. But another lobby, here we come. This is so frustrating. We just want to race.
Yeah, how difficult can it be? it is extremely frustrating. But if anything, the online stability seems to have actually taken a step backwards from previous F1 games by Codemasters, which is pretty unbelievable when you think of what others have been like. But we've definitely got more issues than ever before, but it looks like no more patches are incoming, so we've got to make the best of this now until we get a new game.
Yeah, definitely. So let's find out exactly. I think we're going to have a new lobby here, Jono, and try and modify the grid to how it was after the results tonight. I think that's the best option that we can go for now.
I think so. It's yeah, make the best of it. I think that's the only way forward, is to set the grid up beforehand as people qualified, and hope that things work out that way.
So I'll just ride on board so we got some pictures on our screens rather than just backing out and having the PSN chat. It looks sunny to me. Carry on.
Yeah, it does look sunny. No, I was just going to say, it's so frustrating for the drivers as well, and distracting. I know it always got to me a little bit when something like this happened, because you're focused, you're ready to race. They're actually on the grid for the first race, and you've got your mindset to it, and this just distracts you. It just takes your focus away a little bit, and I definitely found it a bit harder to get into my rhythm at the start of a race after things like this happened in the past.
Yeah, definitely. It must be frustrating for these drivers. It's getting late as well. It's an hour on from when we should have started the qualifying, and we haven't even got underway. So yeah, this is a pain in the backside, but that's again a polite way to put it. Alright, so we'll notify everyone of what we're doing, and then perhaps I'll leave again, Jono, and that usually tells everyone that we are doing a new lobby. So quit to main menu, and they'll see that I've gone from the session. Yeah, Gaza has just sent an invite, so we'll jump into that one, and we'll try this for a third time today.
Surely third time's a charm. Surely.
It's got to be. The Podium boys have actually been, other than the pit lane glitch last week, they haven't really had any issues desyncing or anything so far this season. So yeah, extremely frustrating, but not really a lot we can do. As we said, it's just the game. It's just not capable of handling this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's frustrating that the single player portion of this game seems pretty good and pretty sorted. I think people have had quite a bit of fun with that, but the multiplayer side is it's just so far behind where it needs to be, and it's frustrating to have being sold this product with this all these features that they sell the game with, and unfortunately it doesn't matter a lot if the fundamentals are broken, as they appear to be at the moment for us. But surely third time lucky now. The drivers have got to get their heads down now once we're on the grid this time round, and deliver now, and put all this behind them.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a test of perhaps some mental strength here from some of these drivers for today. But let's just have a quick look up at the rules, make sure they're all the same. So corner cutting needs to change. I believe it's regular for today's race. Vehicle damage is on full, collisions are on, safety cars on, equal performance. That's what we definitely need. No practice. Qualifying is set to none. So we'll just hold things out for a second. Message gets Gaza, the tier coordinator, just to say that it's on strict instead of regular.
Yeah, we need to get that changed. The drivers they're all set for regular. They've done their practice on regular in the week, and we figured it was the best mode to select for the race this week. The stewards decided that regular was the best way to go, and if you do cut here, you lose time. There's grass over most of the circuit, and yeah, you've got to keep it between the white lines here, and we don't want to strict catching anyone out and ending up with any city penalties at the end or anything like that. So yeah, get that changed, and hopefully we'll be ready to go again.
Yeah, so we're going to use the grid editor apparently. So the first for F1 TS Hub, and we're going to use and see if we can change to the grid that we just qualified on. So again, apologies for the delay. Not a lot we can do here. We've just got the corner cutting to put back to regular, and then we'll try and get everyone into the positions that they were in. But yeah, extremely frustrating for these drivers, and I imagine they just want to, get racing as we all do.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be absolutely frustrated and fed up of going through endless menu screens and glitches, taken away from all their plans in the week. You put all your practice in, the practice races yesterday. They'll all just want to get out and show what they can do and run their race and get into some battles, which is what everyone races for. So let's hope when things finally do get underway, we have some good racing, because we know this game's capable of delivering good racing, good side-by-side racing. Obviously much less slipstream in this game. You've got to work hard for your overtakes, and we've seen lots of good overtakes this season. When the game works, it's definitely fun. The handling model's good, but this stability aspect of it is letting it down big time. But as you mentioned, there's nothing we can do about it, and we've just got to hope that when it all gets underway, finally we get the race that we all hope it will be.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll just wait for confirmation to see exactly what Gaz is going to have to do here to edit the grid. I myself haven't done it, so it's going to be a first for me to see this happen. But hopefully Gaza can figure it out, and we'll see exactly what he's able to do with this mode. But we actually have a championship started, because we don't race anymore. Not because we don't want to, just because obviously we're so busy and stuff during the week that it's just not practical. We can't keep up with these guys, can we, Jono?
No, we absolutely can't. I'm too old now to battle at the front with the big boys, so I've taken my seat in the commentary box instead, and and obviously with the stewarding and the rest of the running of the league and what have you, which I'm enjoying. But we started our own championship. I think we're on round 6 or 7. We just done Canada, I think it was, last time out, where I beat you. Just saying, I managed to beat you there at the end. But we're having quite a bit of fun with that, and we've always been close on pace, and we've been having some pretty good races there, to be fair, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's been entertaining. We've got a good battle going on with Ferrari, so we'll see how that goes for the rest of the season. But F1 tier, so we haven't really spoken much about the Constructors' Championships. Mercedes are running away with it in the Pinnacle tier at 9 PM, but it seems if Sauber continue their performance that they just put in qualifying, for instance, it's going to be quite easy for them to take the Constructors' Championship here in the Podium tier.
Yeah, it is looking that way. It's not very often you're going to say that Sauber are looking good in any sort of championship, to be honest, but they definitely are here. They're looking great, obviously led by Technothriller, who's on an absolutely rich run of form at the moment. He really seems to have come alive and found his feet with the car really, really well. He's lightning quick at the start of races as well, and putting it right on the front row more often than not, which is what you need to do. It definitely makes getting the results easier if you're on the front row there, which I wasn't unfortunately able to do that much in my career. I was always going to do it from a bit further back, but if he can keep racking in these results and supported by his teammate as well, then they are looking absolutely good, with not too many rounds of the championship now to go.
Yeah, definitely. I can't believe 6 races to go, including this one. So after tonight, we'll be down to 5, the final 5 to the checkered flag. It has to be said. So let's see how both championships go. Igbo predicted that Techno Thriller or Lemaine were going to win this one, walk out the winner. We'll see what Kian can do about that. But look at the lobby connection bars. We all appear to have either red, yellow, or amber. No one's got a green one on my screen. So perhaps
on mine, they've all got green.
All got green. So perhaps I've got a bad connection. They're all as red right now, all one bar. So a little bit frustrating.
You mentioned Igbo there with his predictions. He always seems to be all known with his predictions. I know over the years that I've been here, he's come out with some bold predictions, and they often come true. He watches what's going on, and he knows what's going on inside in the teams. And I wouldn't bet against what Igbo predicts to happen.
Yeah, definitely. Although we did have a bet in season 4 on who was going to win the drivers' championship between yourself and Ermi, and didn't you enter the last race separated by half a point, and the last race was double points in season 4?
We did. We went to Abu Dhabi half a point apart, incredibly, and I believe that you bet on Ermi that day as well, didn't you?
I didn't know you though, Jono, so I didn't know, how nice you are. But but yeah, we're waiting. We've got 19. We should have 20 here. So who are we missing? We're missing one driver. Who's it going to be? We are missing one. Should be 18 tonight.
I'm not sure, just by looking through the list.
Yeah, hard to see exactly who isn't here. But 17 including we've got Lemaine and forget who else. Emphatics aren't going to be racing tonight, so we should have 18 in the lobby. But let's try and figure out exactly who is missing. Has everyone selected their car now?
I believe so. Yes, they have.
Awesome. So we're hearing Maverick is missing. So let's find out exactly whether he's going to rejoin, but we need to get this one underway. He's saying he's trying to join, so come on, Maverick, we're waiting on you, the Red Bull driver, of course. Let's give him an invite from myself, just to help him into the lobby. Alrighty, and then hopefully we can get underway, because we started the stream an hour ago and we haven't had any official racing laps, but the grid is set to how it was in the last short qualifying session. So yeah, we won't be doing qualifying again. It is set to the qualifying result from the short qualifying we just completed before the mass disconnection. We'll just see whether Maverick is going to join. Wait another 30 seconds perhaps, and then we will start. Here we go.
Yeah, he's just joined by the look of it.
So fantastic. So needs to just quickly pick his car, and then we are good to go. We might have to delay the pinnacle tier by 5 minutes. I'm sure that will give us enough time to get this race done, depending on the weather, of course, because we don't know what's going to happen. That we always set it to dynamic. I know a lot of drivers ask that it's set to the same that it was in the first session, but something that we've always done here at TS Hub all the way from the beginning. We've always just kept it dynamic, and I think it just again provides that exciting element. As Maverick hasn't picked his car, but he needs to do so before.
I presume he'll get placed in it anyway.
Well, it could be. He could be placed
in
it could
be the others. Yes, he could. Yeah. Well, he hasn't picked, so he's going to get what he's given.
Yeah, he's only got a few seconds left if he wants to, and he's going to miss it. Oh, we think he just got it in time. So, there you go. Just in time. Let's see exactly how this qualifying grid order is going to work out. It should be as we finish the qualifying session. So, we will run through it again with you shortly, just to remind everyone exactly who's starting where. Hopefully we have no more connection issues, no more game issues, and we can get these 28 laps underway, and we can find out who's going to win round 15 in the podium tier.
Yeah, yeah, it feels like it's been a long wait into the session, as it has been. We've seen 2 qualifying sessions and 4, I think it was 4 race laps. But finally, fingers crossed, if everyone loads into the session okay now, we will be underway for the Malaysian Grand Prix.
And I've got a pile up on my screen in the pit lane. They've all just seemed to dropped in the same place, and they're on top of each other. But we've got rain, Jono. We've got rain.
Oh, yeah. As you mentioned before, drivers, some of them would have preferred it being dry, as it was obviously in the previous session. But we've always left it on dynamic. But definitely from my point of view as a spectator, I was hoping for a little bit of rain here. But we may well now see a bit of a messier opening lap than we did previously in the dry conditions.
Yeah, definitely. This is, of course, going to add some time onto this race. So we will see exactly what we need to do with the pinnacle tier. But for those of you watching, we will keep you updated exactly what is going to happen. But yeah, I'm excited to get this one underway at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I imagine most of the drivers would have done at least some wet laps here. I know I always chose to do some wet laps at this track because you just know it's coming. You know there's such a high chance of rain. I always made sure, I think we both did, that we always put at least a few wet laps in just so we knew the basic grip level beforehand. Hopefully that's what the guys have done here. Definitely those that have will be feeling a little bit more confident than those that haven't as they go to turn 1 and try and pick their braking point for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be difficult for everyone. You know, they haven't done any wet running. Even if they have done some practice, John, they've been running on dry track now for an hour in terms of the qualifying sessions and the racing laps we did do earlier. So it's definitely going to be a test of, you know, who can feel the conditions out as quick as possible.
You have to say, it looks quite wet as well, obviously they're on the intermediate tyres, but it's not light rain, I wouldn't say. It looks pretty heavy to me.
Yeah, definitely. Every driver, just quickly check just to make sure I'm not wrong, but every driver is currently on the intermediate, so they're all expecting to start on that tyre. And we have mentioned before, John, it's a really good tyre in this game.
Yeah, it is. It takes you to almost, you know, heavy rain conditions. You always sort of, well, I do, I haven't driven on the game that much, but I always think surely it's time now to switch to the full wet. But that time comes later than you think, and the full wet doesn't offer that much grip, to be honest. I don't think it ever feels a very good tyre. I think the Inter, like you say, you can take it from not far off dry conditions up to very heavy rain. The full wet tyre, though, isn't that effective, and you don't want to be on it any longer than you have to be. As soon as it dries up a bit, I think you know, you want to get off it. But obviously we don't know what the actual conditions are going to be as the race goes on. We're starting on the Inter. We don't know whether it's going to dry up or stay wet or whatever ever at the moment. Maybe we'll get that brought up to us in the commentary box. But yeah, as we come around the final corner now, Techno Thriller, he's got clear track ahead of him, so he's in prime position to nail turn 1. So let's see what happens.
We'll quickly run through the grid, Jono, as they line up for the formation lap. It's looking wet, but let's see what the weather provides. Here we go. This is round 15. I'll say it one more time, of the podium tier. This is Malaysia. Anything can happen in Malaysia. Anything can happen on this F1 2017 game. But we're about to start. And Techno Thriller is in pole position. His teammate's in second. Kian is in third position. We've got, as it switches away, everyone loads up. I got up to third. Matt, your daddy, Kev, Bookster, Stifler, Cobblers, Jamie, Spider Atlas, Razor, Gaza, Oz, Lukey, Jonas, Ali, Greenfin, Maverick. We're underway. Here we go. That was a mouthful. It seems everyone gets away cleanly as Gaza falls down a position. Dwellers upper position it's showing, but Kian's being squeezed now. He's in third. Kev's there as well. You got a Toro Rosso coming straight into the back of one of the Williams. That's wing damage, and it pushed one of the Salbers wide. That was Dweller. Dream start from Techno Thriller. Kev's up to third. Kian's Kian's back up. Carry on, Jono.
Yeah, sorry, the Williams touched, but no damage done. They both continue, and it looks like it was pretty clean overall. Like you say, a bit of contact with the top one, the Toro Rossos, I believe it was. But yeah, the drivers are through turns 1, 2, 3 into turn 4. You see bits of carbon fibre flying. And
Cobblers goes off.
Find where the grid levels are, and we've got a yellow flag.
Cobbler's got wing damage, heavy wing damage there. That's really going to hurt him. He needs to be careful, move out of the way of some of the drivers who are going to be much quicker. And Jonas drives straight around the outside of him through turn 6. That must have been a scary one. You've got the drivers behind now. His teammate, the Renault, they're all going to want to get past in these slippery conditions. Matt, your daddy down a position. Dweller down 2. Gaza down 1. And down 9 is Stifler. So he's had a really poor start. As that Toro Rosso is still struggling and being a nuisance to the cars behind, it has to be said. Yellow flags to sectors 2 and 3. Let's switch down the order. Lukey's up 4 positions into 10th. Jamie's down a couple. But it was definitely that Toro Rosso that caused most of the carnage at turn 1.
Yeah, it was. I think other than that, people kept it pretty clean. But yeah, it doesn't take much to, as we see, oh, there is close racing distance on the corner. It's very wide there.
So just a bit wide. Razor and Maverick were off the track there at turn 11. That's going to allow Stifler, who does have wing damage. I can't confirm the Renault Stifler has wing damage. Oz is okay though at the back. Techno Thriller leads away. You've got Kian in second position, over almost 2 seconds behind. Dweller just behind Kev, your daddy. Carry on, Jono.
sorry, Razor actually just run straight into the back of the Red Bull, and he's had to bring it into the pit lane. He got severe wing damage there. Just misjudged his braking, or got caught out by the car ahead of him into the final corner. Ran straight to the back of him, and it looks like he's lost a lot of wing, so he's immediately boxed. And that's Razor taking a tumble down the order into 18th position at the end of that one.
Cobbler's also in, so you presume they'd fit another set of intermediate tyres. Both got wings to repair. As you mentioned, Stifler does have damage as well. We can confirm the Renault driver, he's dropped further down, not dropped further down, sorry, he dropped a long way down from the start. He's currently in 14th place. He gained a couple back from those two pitting. But here we are, seems to be, we're seeing a pass for Greenfin and Gaza. So what's happened there? Greenfin's dropped down. Does he have wing damage? No, perhaps just struggling with the conditions a little bit in that Haas.
Most drivers looking to be having the conditions pretty well.
Oh, Spider Atlas. Sorry, John. Spider Atlas and Lukey went side by side through turns 7 and 8, and Spider Atlas ran Lukey out wide there. Not sure whether Room was entitled or not, but in these conditions it is really difficult, and that's a position gain for Spider Atlas into 8th place now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cars there, as you mentioned, in Spider and the Renault going back. There's 3 or 4 cars all close together, battling for position, and yeah, trying to make him take in these conditions when he tried to figure out the grip levels in his early laps is super tough. But he made the move stick there, as he then gets repassed into the yeah, he's got repassed, is he there? The Ferrari side by side with him.
I think he went deep, but
position
gives you a better exit, doesn't it, onto the straight?
It does indeed.
Here comes Lukey.
Puts in the fastest lap.
Lukey went down the inside, manages to hit the apex. He's got a decent exit as well. So here we are. He's got the position back. The season 9 drivers champion. He's going to be defending against the Renault of Spider Atlas again. You've got Jamie lurking in the background there. This is for 8th, 9th, and 10th position. Lukey holds it into turn 1. Spider Atlas going to come back at him. No. Jamie's more on the back of Spider Atlas, so he's under threat there. And Jamie just follows him through. He gets a bit of rear stability issues on exit, but they all exit the corner how they entered it, as Lukey touches the grass there. That's not something you want to do in these conditions.
No, absolutely. He rejoined in time there to hit the brakes, but he did lose some time, and the Renault is now right back on his gearbox again. These 3 are separated by nothing, as Jamie now looks in the inside there, but there's no doing there. They're compromised Jamie's line slightly into the second part of that left-right. But yeah, they're separated by nothing and pushing hard and going for the manoeuvres as well. Even though we're on lap 3, they're doing everything they can to make the passes early on in the race. And
this is exactly what we want to see, Jono. This is why we love Malaysia. Oh, look, he struggles to get his car turned in to hit the apex, but gets a good exit nevertheless, and pulls away. I'm watching on board from the rear of Lukey's car. It's fantastic to see where Spider Atlas gains and where Lukey gains the time back through some of these corners.
Yeah, they both, you point that out, they are definitely quicker at different points of the circuit. They both seem to have their strong and weak points at the moment. That's bringing them together as the lap progresses. We've already seen a couple of takes from them as the Thriller gets another fastest lap, and he's got a 5.6 second gap now over Kian in second. So lightning start from Techno, as we've seen a few times of late, and yeah, he's looking very, very strong.
Yeah, this is fantastic racing here at Malaysia. This is round 15 of 20, and this is a podium tier every night, meant to be at 7 PM. Huge delays, but Lukey Cobbers gets a penalty. Karajan and Lukey holds the position there into turn 1 again.
So sorry, Bossy Dweller there overtook Kev, and yeah, made it cleanly through by the look of it. So he's into third. Kev dropping away now from his teammate as well, so maybe struggling a little bit compared with the cars around him in these conditions. But a long way to go yet. So
was that completed on the pit straight, Jono, that move?
I didn't see the move. I just saw the end of the move. I believe it was on the pit straight. I know they've been close for a couple of laps. Boffy had been within about 4 or 5 tenths of him, so he's obviously managed to find his way through. Be interesting to see now if he can build a gap and close down on the other Williams of Kian.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know if the Cybers share setups or anything, but they both look really, really strong at the moment. Have such stable cars on board with them. They just look to have a lot of confidence to be able to push both of them. So they definitely look to be well sorted and comfortable in these conditions.
Kev under attack now from Matt Your Daddy, not the Bookster really close behind, so this is another battle shaping up to be a nice one as Ols and Greenfin trade position. Let's take a switch down and see what happened there. It looks like there was perhaps a mistake from Greenfin and Ols got through, but back up front we can see that these three are having a good scrap. They're separated by just a car's length each as they come down to turn one. Are we going to see any lunges down the inside? Bookster thinks about it but decides better of it. Kev holding the position for another lap. Only 2 and 3 tenths separate these guys, so this is fantastic to see the gap so close. As there's a touch, Bookster touched him, I believe, the Ferrari.
He did. Yeah, he did touch him. He looked down the inside, but there was no room. The gap closed. It forced him over the curve, and he did make a little bit of contact with the Ferrari, but no damage done. But yeah, there's definitely no room to place his car there. But they continue, and they all look pretty equal on pace. I'm maybe Kev is holding him up slightly. It's a job to say though. He does pull away at certain points of the track as well. We are definitely seeing different drivers having their strong and weak points, even more so in these conditions than in the dry, or different parts of the lap.
We don't know what setups, of course, everyone's running. Have they, what's the weather going to do? They'll get an indication from the forecast in their loading screen before the race. But we don't know, of course. Will some of them have gambled on wet setups if it's going to go dry? As we're seeing the red of Spider Atlas and Lukey go side by side now, coming into turn 9, I believe this is. Lukey defends, gets a poor exit from the previous corner. Now Spider Atlas is going to come back at him. This is a hard corner to get more traction than the driver in front, but Spider Atlas tucks in right close behind. Lots of umbrellas in the stand, so it's definitely raining, and this battle looks like it's going to go on for this first stint at least.
Yeah, it does. And Jamie playing the sensible game now. He's just half a second or so behind these two. I don't blame him for just keeping a watch there. They're running extremely close on track at times. There's every chance of contact. They've kept it pretty clean so far, but Jamie in prime position to capitalise if anything happens. As Lukey goes defensive into the final corner, will Spider try and get a cut back on him? No, he doesn't really. Follows him through on the normal line as they exit the corner. And yeah, is he getting a good run on him here? He is. There's a bit of lag on my screen as well there. He's pulled to the left of Lukey, which I don't blame him for doing if he had that lag as well. You don't want to run into the back of him. And he again goes wide into turn 1, but there's nowhere to go. There's no cutback to be had. He has to follow Lukey through. He tries the same again. But Lukey keeping it tidy at the moment, and yeah, Spider just can't find any way through. And they continue for another lap.
Gaz has joined the party up front. Meanwhile, I was riding on board. The Bookster got past Matt Your Daddy. That was a move into a turn 1, turn 2 sequence. Got a better exit out of turn 1. Snuck it on the outside of the exit of turn 2. So that was job done as they headed down into turn 4. And Bookster now up a position into 5th. He'll have liked that one to get that move done at turn 1. I was talking to him earlier in the week, Jono, and his grandparents sadly passed away last year heading to this Grand Prix. They'd been every year since 2007. They absolutely loved this track and always sat near turn 1, so he'll be ecstatic to put on a good move down at turn 1 and 2, and I'm sure they'll be watching his performance today, and he'll be making him proud.
Absolutely, great move from him, and now he closes down Kev. So Kev probably spending a lot of time looking in his mirrors at the moment, and yeah, he's got 2 young guns charging behind him. Matty Daly dropped back a little bit from the boost. I'm not sure if that was just because he lost time being overtaken. As Techno sets another fastest lap, he's definitely settling in well to these conditions now. But yeah, the Booster moving into slipstream range now. He won't have to go into turn 1. I don't think he's a bit too far back, but he'll definitely be lining Kev up. Maybe even later on this lap by the look of him. He just have good pace.
Ols slings it down the inside on Stifler. Stifler takes a wide line. Is he going to hang it around the outside? He does, but Ols gets the inside and gets the job done as they exit last corner. Stifler really struggling with that wing damage and is back down to 13th place. So the Haas driver of Ols makes that move, and well done to him. That was a good move. Stifler's definitely later on the brakes, but that wing damage on the right hand side of his car is definitely affecting his pace at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times this season, drivers attempting to carry on with wing damage, and it doesn't seem to pay off on this game. On other games I think you could make it work maybe a little bit better, but they're losing so much time, especially in the wet conditions as well, where downforce is king. You know, if he's going to run a long stint here on the inters, it will be costing him a lot of lap time at the end. I know it's a long pit stop here relatively, but I think it's better to pit, get the fresh tyres and new wing and attack again. As Spider's still all over the back of Lukey. They are having a right ding-dong battle, these two. Jamie's still keeping watch as well.
You've got Gazza who's come to join the party just behind, just hovered over a second now. He was within a second, but this, as I said, looks like going to be a race-long battle between these guys. They seem so evenly matched, and of course you need to have a bit more of confidence in your car, or a bit more of a pace advantage to get the job done without DRS here.
Yeah, you do. You've got to, do it the old-fashioned way. No assist from the DRS here. You've got to just try and get a good exit. Obviously, you can manage the throttle here. It's possible to get good exits here. Maybe more than in the dry, where you can often nail the throttle out of the corners. In the wet, you've got to be a bit more progressive, and it is possible to get good exits on drivers and then be later on the brakes as well. So the drivers will be enjoying it. Some close racing and fair and clean so far as well. And they'll be enjoying the battle after a long wait to get into the race.
Yeah, definitely would be following there. Lukey tries one down the inside. What an opportunistic move that was. Perhaps Spider Atlas was trying to plan a good run, but he's going to hold it round the outside, gives the Renault just enough room. Fantastic manoeuvre. That was absolutely world class from Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie there, good move, and moves into 9th. Will Spider have a look back? No, he doesn't. And interesting to see Jamie there. He played the patient game. He's gained the position. It's worked out for him. So it'll be interesting to see now what his pace is relative to Lukey, and whether he can make any inroads. As Lukey defending well though as well.
Just to mention, Ali got ahead of Stifler there, so Stifler definitely falling down the order with that wing damage. He needs to come in. Pit, but is it getting drier, John? I believe that it's slightly eased off a little bit, and it's almost like we're seeing a tier of two battles. We've got this battle with Kev and Boogster and Matt your daddy earlier, but this one with Jamie, Lukey, Spider Atlas and Gaza, we just seem to keep switching between the two. Come the straights, who's gonna sling something down the inside? And that move by Jamie, that's one of my most impressive overtakes of the season so far. In these conditions, it's not easy to time that right. And he looked for that maneuver, and he slung it down the inside, and he absolutely took advantage of a slightly wide line there by Spider Atlas. He'll be absolutely wondering how he probably thinks he's so much quicker than Lukey, but couldn't get past, and all of a sudden he's a place further down.
Yeah, that's always the trouble when you try to attack and defend at the same time. Is that it's easy to take your eye off the car behind. And like you say, he's probably looking at moving forward and wondering why he's stuck behind Lukey, and then next thing he's dropped another position. As Boogster gets a great run on Kev, just on board with them at the moment, and he does go for it up the inside of turn 4, but no doing. Kev holds it on the outside, and they continue on. So this battle's definitely one to watch.
Oh, it's getting so close there. Cobblers is coming to the pits, so has Ali. We'll keep an eye, John, to see exactly what tyres they're going to put on. I did say it was getting dry, but I don't think it's that dry yet. Everyone, of course, on inters. Cobblers goes soft, so he'll be the man to watch. We'll keep an eye on his times. I feel like he could struggle on those tyres, but, Jono, sometimes if you're at the back, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, you could say that. There's still no point just risking everything if it's obviously wrong, but we'll see how he gets on. Everyone else will be looking to see how he gets on as well. It's quite easy to lose so much time in just a lap or two on the wrong tyre though, that any advantage that you've got from switching over is instantly lost, and I'm on board with him now, and he's struggling hugely in the traction zone, so it's definitely not time yet. But as you mentioned, it is drying up, and we are approaching that time. I'd say it's still a couple of laps away at least.
Yeah, I definitely have to say you're right. He is struggling, but just like to point out that the gap is slightly closed between the top two. Kian's closed a couple seconds on Techno Thriller, so we have seen in the past Oh, his cobblers is off now. He's going to trouble to keep that in the right direction, facing the same way. No, he spun it. And you have to say, wrong tyre. Boogster, what's happening?
Side by side.
Here we go. This is for 4th position.
Try to take my next side. I think get squeezed out. Oh, a bit of lag there. And Kev continues to defend. He looks good into the traction zones onto the back straight and turn 1. So the Boogster's looking to do it somewhere else. He's had a look through there a couple of times as well into turn 4, but that's no doing. And you can tell he's getting a little bit frustrated now. He's looking for a gap, but Kev hitting all his apexes and getting his traction zones nailed. And so far he's doing a good job of defending. He does lose the rear end a bit there as well. The Boogster has another look down the inside. He looks like he'd be quicker. Oh, they do make a small bit of contact there actually as they now head down towards the hairpin.
Yeah, the Boogster likes to kind of stick his nose in and almost kind of say, hey, look, I'm here. Yeah, he's done the same thing, stuck his nose in. Kev's going to give him room. Kev's going to hold it. No, he's going to have the better traction. I'm not sure whether Boogster lifted off then, but Kev definitely got a lot better traction out of that corner. Yeah, Boogster seems to kind of stick his nose in and just kind of say, almost to put the driver in front off from turning into the corner so early. But he's going to get caught out by doing that. We've seen a few times this season, you know, Boogster, they've simultaneously 3 times, 3 of them. But the Ferrari managed to recover. They've lost it both on the same curb, and the Ferrari managed to come through. Jonas up to 5th position. They both rejoin safely, and they're underway again as they were. But that was simultaneous spinning. Yeah, get a good run here. And I wouldn't say there's any unfair advantage in making the pass now. Is it time for... No, I don't think it is time for dry tyres. Dweller and Matt Your Daddy have come into the pits though. Perhaps they feel Kev's pitted as well. So there we go. They're all in.
Wow.
Now they're going to switch onto dry tyres. Yeah, the sun's out, Jono.
Yeah,
softs for Dweller.
See, obviously, Kev and the Boogster were absolutely virtually side by side as Kev pitted, so it'll be absolutely fascinating to see now who ends up in front. Looking at the Boogster, he is struggling for grip. I think it probably is a crossover period now. Yeah, as you mentioned, I don't think the weather had anything to do with that spin. They both just got on that curb there. The car bottomed out on the curb, and one just followed the other, and they both went spinning. You mentioned the Ferrari driver, I think, did the same thing, but didn't actually completely lose the car. Yeah, he managed to save it, but Daddy, Kev, Lukey, Gaza, Razor are all in the pits, so they're following Cobbler's move, and the gap to the front two is 1.9 seconds, so it's definitely closed up there. Spider Atlas is still over the back of Jamie. You have to feel as he's right on the back now. Perhaps Jamie's made a mistake. He touched the back of him. DRS is enabled. They're sliding all over the place. It's time for Techno Thriller's lost the lead of this race. He spun it. Yeah. Techno Thriller, so is Kian. Kian spun as well. Kian. The tyres, it's gone.
Come into the pits, boys. I have to feel anyone who came in last lap timed it perfectly, but Kian has taken the lead from Techno Thriller. He's taken the lead. Jonas is up to 3rd position, and he's not far off these guys. Driving his McLaren absolutely beautifully in these conditions. They're going to dive into the pits now, surely. Pits for some dry tyres, and I can't wait to work out exactly the grid order after everyone comes in. Ols is all over the back of Spider Atlas. We're seeing cars all over the place. Spider Atlas has got past Jamie. Ols is going down the inside. Is he going to touch Jamie? No, they just about keep it together. They can use DRS, of course, Jono. I didn't think they were allowed until they were actually on dry tyres, but the game's letting them use it, and perhaps someone can notify me in the stream exactly what the official rule is. But are they all going to come into the pits? It looks like they are. Yeah, they're following each other in. And look at this, Dweller's stolen the lead from pitting the previous lap. He's got such a lead as well, at least 5 seconds. Techno Thriller's in the pits, Kian's in the pits. He's going to come out in 2nd position, I believe, with Jonas in 3rd position. Let's just keep an eye and see where these other guys are going to come through. You've got Matt Your Daddy going to challenge Techno Thriller for 4th, both on the super soft tyres, as we got Spider Atlas, Oz, Jamie Stifler in the pits still. But this is exactly why we love Malaysia, Jono, and this was definitely worth the wait. Yeah, absolutely. This was on the cards. We got a massive split of tyre compounds as well. Mixture of the medium, soft, super soft.
I guess the mediums can go from the end to the end from here, but I guess the super soft can't. So we've got an absolute mix of strategies. This shows how important strategy is in Formula One, as well as the Boogster spending all that time behind Kev to try and find his way by. But I imagine once he rejoins now, he's going to be much, much further down the field after Kev pitted for the dry tyres a lap earlier.
Yeah, so we'll run through the orders. Cobbler, he's obviously got his tyre temp up. He's, where is he?
Has run off,
15?
sorry,
Yep.
Nick. Matty Dad is going to get a run on him into the hairpin as Techno makes an error. And he makes it stick, I believe. He gets a good exit. Oh, no, Techno Thriller cuts back right around the outside of him. He got great traction there as he regains the position. That was close racing there between those two. The Techno hangs on to the position just, but he's under pressure now. It'd be interesting to see how he responds. Now he's under attack from the car behind.
Yeah, Boogster's there as well, so this is about to become a three-way battle, and this is all about who can get used to the conditions as quick as possible, who can find the grip where it is, where it isn't, and these three are going to head down into the final corner. There's so many cars close on track. It's absolutely unbelievable racing from this podium tier. But let's quickly try and run through the order. We'll follow this battle. Cut in on me, Jono, if we're about to see any dive bombs, but Dweller leads this race. Kian in second, Jonas in third. Techno Thriller had a 5-second lead. He's now currently in fourth position, as we see. Is Boogster going to try down the inside? Doesn't quite able to do it. So Techno Thriller fourth, Matty Daddy fifth, the Boogster sixth, Kevin seventh. Yep, tried it.
Throwing it, the Boogster then, as you mentioned before, he stuck his nose down the inside there again into turn two, and there was contact again with the rear wheel of Matty Daddy. Again, he survives with his wing intact, but definitely a risky manoeuvre that just go for half-hearted moves and sticking his nose down the inside.
Yeah, so we're seeing a couple position change. Gaza and Luki are going side by side now. Luki's got the position back. Razor sets the fastest lap. It's all going on here at F1 TS Hub. Here we go, Luki versus Gaza into turn 4. Luki's going defensive. Yeah, he's got to be careful. Spider Atlas is behind. Jamie's behind. So this is all happening. So we'll quickly carry on. 6th position is Boogster, 7th Kev, 8th Luki, Gaza 9th, Spider Atlas is 10th, Jamie 11th, Ols in 12th, Stifler in 13th. He'll be able to recover from there now, I reckon. 14th is Razor, 15th is Cobblers, 16th Ali, Greenfin 17th, and Maverick in 18th position. So here comes Jamie. Position change up front.
Yeah, I just saw. Let's see a car running off circuit.
Matt Your Daddy. That was Matt Your Daddy. He's off just before turn 12, loses 2 positions because of that. Boogster and Kev go through. Techno Thriller is all over the back of Jonas. Jonas there just on strategy. And look, he's absolutely doing another worldie of a drive here today at F1 TS Hub. Is Techno Thriller championship leader, of course, heading into this race. Here he comes into turn 1. Where is... Oh, Jonas slings it down the inside, goes a little deep. He's going to have the inside to turn 2. Is Techno Thriller going to give him room? Just about.
Yeah.
Matty Daddy pits. He obviously got he's got wing damage from that, so they must have been in contact with the Boogster or Kev.
Yeah, there must have been. Surprised the Boogster was actually ahead of Kev. He went the extra lap on the intermediate tyres. I thought Kev would have a big advantage. The other drivers seemed to gain a lot from pitting the lap earlier for the dry tyres, but the Boogster ended up ahead of Kev when they rejoined.
Could have been traffic in the pit lane or something like that.
Possibly.
John, that cost or wing changes. I did see a few drivers. Matt Your Daddy changed his wing. I didn't think he had damage, but he did just that. So here we are. This is Luki versus Gada versus Spider Atlas versus Ols versus Jamie. 5 of them all within DRS range. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. This is what we waited for.
Yeah, as we said before, once the racing gets underway, this game it delivers. But it's just getting there that's the hard bit sometimes. But it's absolutely delivering us an absolutely excellent Malaysian Grand Prix now. And these drivers, as you mentioned, Luki and Jamie and co, they've been together all race long, really, trading positions and trading lap times. They transitioned to the dry tyres, and they're still in the battle and still all to play for. It'd be interesting to see it though now how the tyre strategies do play out with the complete mix of tyre compounds there on the left hand side.
Boogster, just to mention
from Gaza, I think that was Gaza just running off circuit. Jamie's now got clear road. Was it Jamie or was it Luki?
No, Luki made the mistake. Luki made the mistake. He's dropped down from 7th to 10th. Boogster also did Jonas on the inside of turn 1 there, so that was job done as they started lap 15 out of 28. We are over halfway through now, and yeah, Gaza got the position there ahead of now he leads. What's happened? Who's out?
Was just, I don't know what happened. His car was flying in the air. I didn't actually see him in contact with anybody, but his car launched in the air. It looked like lag, perhaps, and that speared him into the wall.
With Jamie.
On the exit of the final corner. Yeah, I didn't actually see any. I only just switched at the last minute. Yeah, Jamie's got wing damage as well. From my view, though, that did look strange.
Techno Thriller's out of the race.
Techno Thriller retires.
He's binned it. That's into turn 4, I believe. Is that? I believe that's into the. No, that's into turn 7. There's another car behind. I believe he's got contact there. It looks to me like I saw someone in the distance. We'll ride on board with Gaza, and we'll see where that Salva's placed. That's just after turn 6. There you are, he's off in the gravel, no other cars involved by the looks of it. The championship leader has DNF from this race. Kean will be clapping his hands if he can drive and clap at the same time. And wow, amazing scenes here. Cobbler's pits again,
yeah.
Move screen Finn up a position. But championship leader out this race, Gaz now up to 6th position. And Jamie's up, they're all up because here comes Lukey, wing damage, Matt Your Daddy, sorry not Lukey, wing damage from Matt Your Daddy. He's come to join this party and he got damaged, he hit the back of Jamie, so he's obviously ruining his race. What was a good qualifying position, he goes past Jamie and those two will have to come into the pits now. But Matt Your Daddy, wing damage from that overtake, and wow Jono, what an absolute scenes here. Dweller leads by 10 seconds as well.
That was a thrilling few laps. Absolute shame for Jamie. I'm not sure what happened there with Oles. I only caught the end of it. But it looked a very strange incident from my view. But having a great drive there. We said about how sensible he was being, following those drivers battling ahead, and he was working his way through the field. And Gaza, though, laughing now, as you mentioned as well, up into 6th place. Do we think the soft tyre can go to the end from when they pitted? I
don't think it can. I think the medium tyre can go to the end. I think anyone who's on the supers or the softs will have to box again for another set of dry tyres. We're seeing Jamie Knowles come in, so they'll be setting their final stint of the race on this tyre, whatever they pick. Jamie's gone for mediums, Oles has gone for softs. At least they're going to have a battle between themselves all the way to the end of the race. Spider Atlas, meanwhile, all over the back of Gaza. I feel like he hasn't been able to make a move done today. Other than, you know, someone making a mistake in front of him, he always seems to just be behind a car. Whether he has or hasn't, I might have missed it. But Stifler, his teammate, up into 9th now. I said this race wasn't over for him after the rain stopped and they all came in. And yeah, fantastic stuff.
Blocked so badly there by Maverick. That's allowed Spider to close up onto the back of him. He was really blocked there in that corner.
Teammates as well, Jono.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of miscommunication there, or no communication at all maybe, but that's definitely not what Gaza wanted as he comes under pressure even more from the Renault driver.
Yeah, here we are into the final corner. Spider Atlas is going to want to get this job done. We're seeing a position change between Oles and Jamie, and Jamie's off, Jamie's in the gravel. That is at turn 4 on the exit. He's gone straight on, not sure what happened, but he's going to get underway. Perhaps him and Oles came together or something like that, but he's is he calling it? I think he's
slowing down.
He's slowing down significantly. Perhaps he's waiting for a clean, or he's just driving on the grass at the moment. I guess that's one way to get around Malaysia, but
prefers rallycross.
Yeah, prefers rallycross today. Definitely a bit of lag involved, and I think he's retiring from the session. Either that, or he's trying to make this lap as long as possible. He's come back on. He doesn't actually look like he's got any damage to his car. But yeah, perhaps he fancied the scenic route today, and he's actually just going to be lapped by Gaza and Spider Atlas. So with all that, Jono, it's cost him a whole lap to them.
How it can unravel. It was all looking so good for him, and in the difficult conditions early on as well. And now, like you say, his race is gone. He's obviously, I think he's lost interest, and I don't blame him, to be honest, after what's happened to him there. Yeah, let's hope he spots Gaza closing him down, and does the benefit of letting him through when he gets there. As the booster now sets fastest lap and is on the charge.
Gaza went wide.
Gaza runs wide. Yeah, that's such a tricky corner there. He runs wide, and yeah, job done by the look of it for Spider. He makes an overtake, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so there you go. And although it was a mistake in front of him that gifted him that one, I'd say, but not take anything away from Spider out of the course. I know he's a brilliant driver. And Jamie's back into the pits, so he's retired from the session. So Jamie's come in, called it a day, done the correct thing, Jono, retired in the pits. We know we saw last week, no for sure, but Cliffy's car seemed to forget the brakes were there after the bridge in Singapore, and it caused a safety car, which you have to say caused some of the DNFs from lag spikes. But that's another day, another story. Kian has close 2 seconds to Dweller, and is Dweller going to be able to go all the way on those softs? You asked me, Jono, can they go all the way? I don't think they can. So will Dweller have to come in? If he does, Kian is sitting in prime position to win this race, and he will put his championship charge straight back in contention. Bookster, meanwhile, in 3rd position, absolutely making his grandparents proud tonight, so well done to him, and he can possibly even challenge further, so we'll keep an eye on the Force India. Jonas still in 4th, and he's just passed lap to car, and what a drive from Jonas. He's been fantastic this second half of the season, Jono. He was a late joiner to the league in this podium tier, but you have to say since then he hasn't looked back. He's great off track, he's great to talk to, and I'm really impressed with his driving so far.
Yeah, it's been a really impressive drive from him. As you say, in 4th place, he got the strategy call with the wet to dry, absolutely spot on. He's in 4th position. He's on the super soft, so be interesting to see how he fares against Kev and Spider behind him, who are on the medium, who obviously don't have to stop again. Yeah, it's a brilliant drive from him once again, and he's doing McLaren proud at the moment.
Cobbler's actually just unlapped himself from him, so Cobbler's currently in 15th position. This is his proper debut after he wasn't able to start. He moved down from the pinnacle tier, but Kev, he's been quiet the second half of the race. He's just been minding his own business. He's currently in 5th position. Spider Atlas has now built a bit of a gap to Gaza, but Stifler is now all over the back of Gaza, so we're going to see a Red Bull versus a Renault round 2, different driver, the car behind, but hopefully another fantastic battle.
Yeah, he's been behind him for a few laps now. Hasn't been able to find his way by yet. He's on the medium, but look at it, Stifler, is he? He's actually on super soft on my screen, but the tyre display there on the left says he's on the medium. Gazza on the soft ahead. As Gazza makes an error, Stifler gives him plenty of room there, though. He could have been a bit more aggressive, but fair play to him for giving space there. He did the right thing, and he's still got the job done there, just about into the hairpin.
Yeah, definitely. So that is job done. Renault's now in 6th and 7th position, so going to score some decent constructors points for today's race. And we have 3 retirees. Cobblers has retired from the session. He's DNF'd it. Where has he binned it? It looks like he's just pulled off track to the side of the road and called it a day. That is at turn 12. And Maverick will move up a position soon after he passes that car. But yeah, it's been a very entertaining race. Matt, your daddy will be disappointed. He's sitting in 10th. Jonas is in the pits, so the first one to blink. He is putting on another set of super softs. So he went super for his strategy, and he's going to come out in 5th position, 6th position. He's just been passed. Yeah, he's going to be in a Renault sandwich, and quite fitting that there'll be a Renault in the back of that McLaren from next year's game. But 7 seconds now, the gap between the top 2, as Razart now comes into the pits from his soft tyres. So it'll be so interesting if Dweller's going to come in for a new set. Jono, you have to say you might as well come in now and get the most advantage of a set of supers as you can.
Yeah, if you can't make it to the end, then yeah, he's best boxing now, putting on the supers, and then pushing as much as he can. The people who are switching to supers now are going to be really quick in the closing stages of the race. I expect Jonas to be you know, all over the back of the Renault and looking to get back into at least 5th position as quickly as he possibly can. We know he's got good pace anyway, so it'll be interesting to see whether he can make it work for him at the end of this lap. He's certainly lining it up to look although he's ready to make a move.
Yeah, definitely. So those faster tyres definitely showing their advantage as he goes down the inside. Yep.
I got done. Although no, he doesn't get a good exit there. He had to,
Spider Atlas comes back. Bookster's in. Bookster's in the pits. So
okay,
he's going to fit another set of super soft tyres. So here he goes. He's done the same as Jonas. There's a green fin in the background. He's come into the pits as well. He's fitting another set of supers. So he'll be on the quickest tyre for the last 8 laps of this race. As Gazza's also in.
As well.
Yeah, from his softs. So Razor and Gazza, who pitted the softs, have come into the pit, Jono. So is that a sign of things to come? 6.4 seconds. So the gap's come down 6/10. We're going to either have a showdown here, Jono, for the position, or Dweller's going to come into the pits. Either or, it's going to happen on track or in the pit lane.
Yeah, seeing the other drivers pitting, surely he'll have to box. 7 laps is a long way around this circuit. It's quite a high tide there, especially on the front. So I'd be surprised if he can carry that to the end. And the gap is coming down consistently now every sector. He's definitely losing time. It's looking at the moment, obviously, the super soft runners will be on a charge at the end. It's looking like Kian and Kev switching to the mediums. It's going to work out pretty well for them up in second and third there at the moment.
Not sure what's happened with Jonas, but he's just been passed by the other Renault. And I think Stifler's actually got past both of them. So I don't know if there was a mistake there. But I'm pretty sure Spider Atlas was ahead, then it was Jonas, then it was Stifler.
Yeah, I watched Jonas overtake Spider Atlas as well at the final corner on the previous lap. So obviously something's happened in the time between. And Spider now does the same things we've seen earlier, gets up on the curb there on that tricky corner. And yeah, Jonas back ahead again. And yeah, can resume his charge.
Yeah, definitely, as they head into the final corner. Lukey's just hovering in the background as well, as his teammate behind him. 12 seconds separate the two Ferraris. As one of them comes into the pits, that's going to be Lukey, I believe. Lukey's in the pits. He's going to put a set of supers on, the quickest tyre, of course, in today's race. Jono, let's have a quick run through as we'll switch over to Gaza, who's gone down the inside of Ali. He got on the curb as well there. So that's 4 or 5 drivers we've seen struggling as their car gets stuck on the curb and they just can't get it turned into the corner. Lukey is in the pits, as we mentioned. So where will he come out in relative to Gaza, who pit, I believe, the lap before? They were quite close on track. I think Lukey's going to have, yeah, he'll have plenty in hand as he makes his way to turn 1. But Jono, www.f1ts hub, if you like what you're seeing, you can join us on the website. There's a apply to race form. We've only got 5 races left in the season. We do have a waiting list, but we will try to get everyone seeded as quickly as possible as Razart sets the quickest lap of the race. 5.3 separate the top 2. This has been an absolute classic, one that will be spoken about many years to come, I imagine. Follow us on Twitter at F1TS Hub. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. We're trying to get up subscribers up after starting the official F1TS Hub YouTube channel late 2017. So thank you for all those who have subscribed, and I believe we're just around the 80 mark. So fantastic to see everyone subscribing to our channel. Bookster sets the fastest lap. This is going to be fantastic to see who can hold on and who's going to be extremely under threat from those who came in for a second pit stop on the dry tyres, Jono.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on board Boppy Dwell at the moment just to see how the tyres look to be holding up. He's definitely got a bit of understeer in the high-speed corners, but you have to say on lap 23 of 28 now, it looks like he is going to try and take them to the end as he then runs a bit wide in the hairpin as well. So we may well have a battle on our hands for the win here, as it looks like he is going to try and bring them to the end, but he is suffering from understeer. So I think his time to pit is gone. It would have been a few laps to go if he was going to switch on to super soft. I think now he might have no choice. Unless he's literally going to run out of tyres, he's got no choice now but to carry on and try and defend the position. They say track position is key, and you know, he's got every chance of defending, but I think he will be struggling in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, exactly. So let's find out what's going to happen. 4.7 separates the top 2. We're about to start lap 24 out of 28. So he's still got a job in his hands to take us 5 laps, Jono. And this track isn't the kindest on tyres. So let's find out what's going to happen between these top 2. You can see Keane in the background. They've got a back marker between them.
Yeah, and keeping an eye on the Bootster as well. That gap down to 3.4 seconds now. I think he will catch Kev before the end of the race, who's on the warm mediums now. So yeah, down to 3.3 now. So he's on an absolute charge. So expect to see a battle for the lead and a battle for the 3rd position as well as we enter the final few laps of the race.
And look at Jonas in 4th. He's only 3 seconds, as you were saying, behind Kev. So he's got to attack on those supers. And Jonas in 6th is 1.6 behind on those supers. He's got to attack Stifler, who's doing a fantastic recovery drive. All the way he was in last place, if you remember, Jono. After lap 1 he had to pit. And look at his recovery drive all the way up to 5th position. And ahead of his teammate, who's currently in 7th. And yeah, the gap seemed to be pretty big as they head down, as we head further down the order. But look at the guys up front, those gaps are coming down. You've got Kian attacking Dweller, you've got the Boogster attacking Kev, you've got Jonas attacking Stifler, and it looks like you've got Gaza and Lukey attacking Matt Your Daddy and Spider Atlas, but I think those gaps are too big.
Yeah, those gaps look too big. The Boogster now down to 1.9 seconds, so he's absolutely rapidly closing that gap. I'm going to go on board with him now, as it looks like they are going to be together on track very, very shortly.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this. This is for a podium position, of course. I've been really impressed with Kev, who also I'd just like to give a shout out. He's joined the management team that helped run the league, so it's great to have him on board. And thank you for coming and helping us set up some interesting things for next season, but that's as far as I'll go. If you want to read any more, you'll have to go and read Igbo's exclusive, which gives a few cryptic clues about next season. But Boogster, fastest lap of the race, you can tell he's a man on the march, and he wants that podium. Kev's had a fantastic last few races. I'd have to say his performance and consistency have been a lot better in the race, and that's what he needed. 2.4 separate the top two, lap 25 out of 28. I can't wait to see the finale. We've had some great ones in both tiers this season, Jono, but this is shaping up to be another absolute cracker.
Yeah, I think it might be difficult to choose who to watch on these final couple of laps. Both gaps are coming down nicely. They're both only going to have a lap or two to do it though, so it's going to be a bit desperate when they get there. They're going to have to find a way to do it quickly. And the Boogster is absolutely on the limit. I'm on board with him now, and he's hitting his apexes. He's drifting the rear end of the car, especially into that tricky turn 13-14. He's drifting it in there to get the car turned in. He's on the limit, and I look at the traction he's got. If he's still got the rear tyres there when he does close onto the back of Kev, I think he could easily line him up into turn 1, just with the speed of traction he gets onto the straight.
Yeah, look at the 1.4 between the top two, 0.8 between third and fourth, 1.4 between fifth and sixth. I can't, as you said, it's going to be hard to pick, but we've got to go with the one that's closest on track. This is the Boogster versus Kev. Kev won't want to finish in fourth. He'll want that podium. He'll want that trophy. That champagne will taste nice after the night we've had. But here we go. Boogster is going to get DRS. The flap's going to be open. The top two, 0.8 of a second as well. We'll stay on board with this one, as Kev's going to stay on the outside. They've got a back marker in front just to make it a little bit more challenging. Boogster goes down the inside. How's this going to go into the second corner? The Boogster surely is just going to power. Yeah, just pure grip.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was much Kev could have done about that. I think perhaps I'd have got to the inside rather than the outside there, to at least give the Boogster something to think about, try to hang it around the outside. But yeah, I think that the sheer difference in grip there made it difficult for him to do much about that. So we'll now switch our attention to Kian, who's half a second off Dweller in the lead now.
Yeah, they're literally, and Jonas is just about to break the DRS with Stifler as well. So we'll stay on board with the leaders. You know, this is 25 points up for grabs. First and second, there's a big difference, 7 points between the two. Techno Thrill will be saying to his teammate, don't you let that Williams through at any cost. Kian will be saying, I need this win to show everyone that my connection has been holding me back from winning this championship. Seems to be some lag involved on my screen. I don't know about you, Jono, as Kian goes to the outside, Dweller's on the inside, and it's some terrible lag here. I can't tell. Looks like Kian's driven around the outside, but we'll wait for confirmation. Migrating host, that means Gaza has left the session. Yellow flags in sector 1.
What a shame for him.
Yeah, not sure what happens there. He was in 10th position, having a good race. But Kian has taken the lead of this race on our screen. And let's turn our attention now to Jonas, the last man to put a move, perhaps, in today's race. Lap 27 out of 28. What can the McLaren driver do? 0.8 of a second, Jono.
Yeah, he's struggling to get this last bit of the gap down. I wonder if he's lost the edge on those super soft tyres now. And it's looking like Stifler may have enough here. I think he's in DRS, so he's going to get the advantage of that to close the gap up as they go into turn 1. But yeah, I'm not sure he's got that much of a pace advantage anymore over the car ahead. This could be a tricky one to find a way through with only a lap to go. Yeah,
lap 28, we're on the final lap. Sorry, lap 27, we're on the penultimate lap, as we're seeing Jonas Hound Stifler for 5th position. This is a top 5 up for grabs. In case you're watching, the Pinnacle tier has been delayed by 10 minutes so that we can finish this race. We had some issues with the lobby, we had some issues with it freezing. It's been a nightmare today for the Cody servers, but it was worth the wait, Joe. We got an absolutely fantastic race. I mean, it couldn't have been written any better.
Yeah, the whole race has been brilliant. You have to see that period
around
as
Jonas goes wide.
That will surely end his chances now. And again as well. Maybe
dirty tyres.
Too hard there. Yeah, the dirty tyre effect there. Really catching him out the second time after he'd already run off circuit. You'd have to say now that barring an error from Stifler, he should have the job done. And as you say, a great drive if he can bring it home in 5th.
Yeah, definitely for Jonas as well. I think he should be happy with 6th. I know he'd be disappointed with the mistake, which you have to say was probably a cost him the position. Yellow flags are set to 2 and 3. Wonder what that's for. But Dweller looks like he's going to take those tyres to the end. There's some graining on the front left, that's for sure. He didn't put up too much of a fight, but perhaps he knew what was coming, and he's going to take the 18 point. He started in 2nd, so he hasn't fallen down. And perhaps he would have just thought, you know, I should have put those mediums on. But at the end of the day, you just don't know when you come into the pit, when it's wet weather conditions and things like that. But final lap, been an absolute night and a half for us at F1 TSL. Again, apologies for all the delays, and the Pinnacle tier will be starting promptly after this race at 9:10. I'm sure there'll be some invites on the way soon, and we'll get joined up with that. Definitely some lag, but Kian, nothing stopped him today, Jono. He needed this for his championship.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely delighted if he can bring it home here, and I think that'll bring him to within 3 points of Techno Thriller at the top of the standings. So it will absolutely close things up, which is what we want to see as well in the championship battle. We want it to go right to the end. Looks like it will do, and yeah, he'll be delighted.
3 points, and also Bookster carries on and scores 3rd position, which I'm sure he will. He will move within 25 points, sorry. So Kian wins round 15 in Malaysia, F1 TSL. Dweller takes 2nd position. Well done, good result for him. We're waiting for Bookster. It's been an emotional day for him. He's wearing his black helmet to show his support for his grandparents, and they'll be happy with that result. 3rd position, an overtake at turn 1. Brilliant day for him. Kev crosses the line in 4th position. Stifler, he was pitted on lap 1 for wing, didn't pit, sorry, on lap 1. He got lap 1 wing damage, Jono, and we were saying it's just costing him so much time, but look at him go. Up to 5th position, held off a spirited fight from Jonas as they exit the last corner. I don't think there's anything the McLaren driver can do. Both low on fuel, and yeah, there you go. Exactly as they cross the line. 5th and 6th, Spider Atlas. He's had a good day today in terms of on-track action.
Yeah, he's definitely had a boring race, hasn't he? He's had cars around him, especially in front of him, for a lot of the race, and I think he'd have enjoyed that. It was clean for the most part. He made a couple of overtakes there in the end, and yeah, I think he'll be really pleased with his night's work.
Lots of sponsor time for the Renault tonight, and Lukey comes out the final corner. He's going to come along in 9th position, so he takes 9th just behind his teammate, and that's the 2nd race in a row they finish next to each other. But Razor takes 10th position, and then we've got to wait for Green Finn and Maverick, who looks to be out of fuel. Maverick's out of fuel, so he'll have a painful crawl back to the start-finish line, and he's at the last corner now, so not too much longer. Green Finn crosses the line in 14th place, and Maverick will be the last one. Cobblers, Jamie and Techno Thriller retired. Techno Thriller was leading this race in the rain. It started on intermediates, Jono. It went to dries, and has provided an absolute classic that we will talk about in many seasons to come at F1 TS Hub. Well done to all the drivers, and thank you for sticking it out in what was a bit of a messy night, but entertaining nevertheless.
Yeah, that was. I enjoyed that race a lot. Once we got underway, finally, those few laps surrounding the pit stops were absolutely hectic. We had so much action, we couldn't keep up with it. Everyone seemed to be within a half a second of the car ahead, and there was plenty to keep us entertained once we finally got into action. And yeah, the race was. It lived up to the hype, that's for sure.
It did indeed, and we're going to run through the results quickly before I head over to stream the Pinnacle race. I can't wait to see those guys go at this. Kian wins the race to get his championship charge back on track. Dweller takes 2nd, Bookster takes 3rd, 4th is Kev, 5th is Stifler, 6th is Jonas, 7th is Spider Atlas, 8th is Matt Your Daddy, Lukey takes 9th, Razor in 10th, Ols in 11th, Gazza in 12th, Ali in 13th, 14th is Green Finn, Maverick in 15th, 16th is Cobblers, 17th is Jamie, and 18th is Techno Thriller. The latter three obviously retired from the race. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for sticking with us. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed that one. And Jono, final thoughts before we switch over to the big boys.
Well, it was just a fantastic race. Well done to all the drivers who gave it their all there, gave us some great on-track action and great battles. And yeah, now everyone can tune into the Pinnacle tier and get even more exciting racing at F1 Tier 12.
Make sure you head over to Twitter. There'll be a Driver of the Day vote online either later tonight or tomorrow, so you can cast your vote on who you think deserves to win Driver of the Day for round 15. But for now, I'm joined alongside me with Jono. Myself is Nick, and thank you for joining us, guys, and we will see you very shortly.